to please join us inside. We're looking forward to seeing you and looking forward to a very exciting day ahead of us. May I please request all those of you already in the ballroom to please take a seat. Thank you. Once again, I'd like to extend a very, very warm welcome to our guests. I know a lot of you happen to be in the pre-function area enjoying the fabulous weather, good company, and networking. But we'd really appreciate if you could please join us inside the hall and take a seat. We have a lot that we'd like to cover today. And given the time that we have, we would really like to begin. So I'd like to request all those of you who'd like to be a part of our first few sessions to join us inside and take a seat. Like I said, lots and lots of exciting sessions ahead of us. So let me take this opportunity by once again extending a very warm welcome to each of you right here at Global Design Confluence 2023, a visionary initiative by Marriott International and Hotelier India, where we'd really like to take a moment and talk about everything that we covered yesterday from some fantastic sessions on hospitality designs. We heard from the experts from the industry. We also did speak about the thumb rules when it comes to creating the perfect hotel experience, making sure that we give some amazing memories to all those who are a part of the property and more. And that's what takes us to today, where we're going to cover a lot about important subjects, be it sustainability, be it monetary benefits, profits, like a lot of our delegates were asking yesterday. We want to make sure that we have a lot to catch up with all of you right here. So a very, very exciting day ahead of us as we extend a very warm welcome to you. Please do put your hands together as I present to you Mr. Michael Wang from Marriott International, joining us to set the context for day 2.
Good morning, good morning. Just a quick check. How was yesterday? Was it inspirational? Was it titillating? Did it get some new ideas in your head about design, about how to build hotels? Just curious. I hope it was a great day for you. And if you think first day was good, the second day is even better. And I am I'm very high on spirit, but some of that may be due to gin and tonic. So I hope you guys are on high spirit the right way. We have a great program today, and we're shifting gear. It's going to be about AI. It's going to be about sustainability, which should be very dear to each and every one of our heart. And we're going to have case studies that's going to be presented about taking a hotel through the lead journey and how we got there, what was the results, what was the benefit analysis for that. We're also going to present to you a project case, which I thought, what is better than to present to you? I'm sure many of you ask, okay, what is a perfect idea of a prototype Marriott hotel getting built? Is there one? You know, Michael talked about all this prototype and, you know, all these projects going around the world, but is there one done? Is it reality? Well, we're going to show it to you. We're going to show you a hotel. It's 4 Points in Bali, not Bali, Indonesia, but Bali in Taipei, which the owner is very cooperative. He's an engineer. He is the son-in-law of the owner. And he said, you know what, Michael, I want to design, build just the way you guys did it. Because Karen is such a great designer. I trust her. I'm not going to change a thing. I'm just going to design it the way it is, and let's see how it turns out. Well, after I show you, I'll tell you the result. Basically, he was on time, construction-wise. It was 6 months behind schedule, truly because of COVID. It got positive GOP after just basically 6 months. It had incredible guest voice. Guest voice to us is really important, right? It's after you check in a hotel, you give us a score on how the hotel did. Super high guest score, almost to the level of a Ritz-Carlton, if you can believe it. So it's a beautiful story. It is reality. You can take a prototype completely, get it built, and get it successful, on budget, speed to market, and the owner's ready to build his next one, and next one, and next one, next one. To him, it becomes a machine now. It's no longer, oh, I have to worry about my next hotel project. No, it's basically on autopilot. As long as he can find a great site, he's got the formula down. And I think that's what we want for some of those owners that understand that hotel is an investment. For those owners that still feel that, hey, this is my, you know, my backyard, my parents will be going to the hotel a lot. I want it to be unique and different. Okay, go ahead and do that. But at least know that we have all of the different options for you. Okay, I want to play something fun to kick it off. I hope people don't get offended by it. It's just a cartoon, so, you know, so take it lightly. But I thought it's really interesting because in many ways, this is what my team and I deal with on a daily basis. So this is one day in the day of GDAP project. Oh, I need the cursor. Okay. Color's good. Network error.
From Marriott Global Design, we've got a few questions about your hotel. Of course, the guest rooms are 20 square meters, but it would still make a perfect JW Marriott, huh? But the architectural plans show guest rooms that are 40 square meters. Well, you know, we needed more guest rooms, so we simply divided them in half.
Do you have fast response sprinklers?
Well, no, but I can assure you we are very fast to respond to any situation. Okay, what about an emergency generator? No, of course not. But don't worry, we are more than capable of generating our own emergencies. Oh my god, this cannot be happening. And now, let us visit another part of the hotel. Welcome to our three-meal restaurant. We have a very famous Italian chef.
Hello, welcome.
This horrible smelly bar is your 3-meal restaurant?
Do you have Ansel piranha sprinklers in your cooking hoods?
I'm sorry, we have no piranha, but our fresh catch of the day is a swordfish. Very delicious.
Let us now continue the tour. We will now visit our conference center. So, Mr. Owner, who is the project manager for your renovation? Well, I am the project manager, and my beautiful wife is the interior designer.
Well, as you know, the interior designer must be from Marriott's list of approved consultants.
Approvals are no problem. My wife is an 18-year-old supermodel, and she always gets very high approval ratings. Well, what about your other consultants? Be like kitchen, artwork, lighting? We have no need for these types of consultants. My brother has a factory in China and is providing everything for the hotel. Very cheap and very good quality.
Why are the workers demolishing the executive guest lounge?
Yes, we are converting that to a new KTV lounge. You know, we can make a lot of money with it. And also the feng shui master is insisting that the top floor of the hotel become my private residence.
Oh no, the management agreement was just signed this morning, and now Global Design is stuck with all these problems.
Don't worry, we still have 2 weeks before the hotel opens as a JW Marriott,
2 weeks?
Okay, it's not that bad, but also our future prototype and AI will resolve that. So here's this beautiful 4-point in Bali, in Taipei. And so this is the real case of an owner and designer using 100% BIM for all of their MEP work, and also using the prototype to 100%, literally, following the prototype all the way through. It opened last year around October. 241 keys, March 7, 2023. Sorry, March. Here it is. Here's the reception as per prototype. Lots of layering, lots of texture, nice color. This is actually a little deal that we have going with Starbucks. So Starbucks, they cannot put their Starbucks name on the outside of the building, but they can put it inside the hotel. And the Starbucks just does tremendous amount of revenue. Okay. This is the all-day dining. The meeting room. A little Chinese restaurant, kind of casual, not too fine dining. the indoor swimming pool, outdoor swimming pool overlooking the lake, the guest room with a very strong blue theme wall on one side. That's the prototype signature. The other wall is basically a little bit more industrial looking and a brick wall. Very well done. As a matter of fact, the owner went out of his way to find even better than our spec brick wall, which made it that much more next level of finesse. Turned out great. The view. Some of the rooms have got these oversized tubs for the suites. And the infrastructure part of it is they truly use BIM for all of the M&E coordination, sprinklers, all of that. And I think the key lessons learned is just that. BIM has a great place when it comes to coordination of M&E. I would say until the technology changes and improves, this is really about where you should use BIM. It's primarily for the coordination of MEP and infrastructure. So there it is, a lot of different modeling, making sure everything works. And I'm not going to go into this, but basically the power of BIM and what it can do is truly astonishing. Okay, so all of the focus and headache we usually have, a BIM coordinated, a lot of the issues become a real issue on site. So this is all through coordination of BIM. Super clean, super organized. Okay, a little bit too difficult to explain this, but basically, as you can see, the BIM will figure out where you have discrepancies, and they will ask you, do you really want to have a pipe here or there? Do you want to move it? Do you want to relocate it? And it's all done automatically. So layer by layer, right? It's beautiful. I mean, I'm no MEP, but this is just to show you how everything can be so organized. So just layer by layer by layer, and once they have this figured out, there's no turning back. And then on-site coordination, it really helped them to know exactly where to put every drill core, every wire. So the owner's son, who is the one running this whole project, every time you talk to him, he couldn't get, you couldn't get him off the table. He's so excited about having gone through this process, right? And always preaching how he doesn't see how anybody can go back and doing the things the old way. Okay, enough of all these pipes. So I think the takeaway is pretty self-explanatory, saves time, saves headache. Cost overrun was minimal. And again, any kind of cost overrun, as a matter of fact, he actually saved money, to be honest with you. It wasn't cost overrun, it was actually cost reduction. Okay. Do we need to switch? Okay, what will become of us after AI takes over? During dinner last night, quite a few of us talked about this. Um, some were excited, some weren't so excited, some were nervous that it's going to destroy the world. So let's not get too uh, taken away. Let's just focus on us being a little hotel designer and hotel owner and trying to get our hotels done quicker and better. Okay, so Marriott, we really have been in the forefront of innovation. It unfortunately it says 217, but that's because COVID killed off 3 years of this. So we're still pretty much in the forefront. And of course, with the Google's coming in, Tesla coming in, you know, all of these really high-tech companies are taking the spotlight. But from a hospitality industry point of view, we're still leading it. Okay, so just a couple of the key points which we will talk about, and just to highlight, we have the loyalty program when we bought Starwood and merged into one. We have the new Moxie that you guys seen with the one-stop shop FF&E. We introduced mobile check-in, which is very powerful. It doesn't work everywhere yet. Some of the countries like China, there's still a lot of firewalls and stuff. So, but it's coming, right? Technology is there. We just need to wait for the proper application. BIM prototype, design 80/20, we talked about that, and we're gonna go into it a little bit more. Marriott IoT Room, this is in partnership in Samsung and Legrand, and it's our way of continuously trying to figure out how can we make the room, the guest room smarter in every way so that we can analyze energy consumption, what guests like, what guests don't like, which plug they use more, which light they use less, all of that, right? It's all part of this big data to analyze the usage of a room. Marriott eCornell is something that I'll show you in a minute, and hotel design workshop, just like this one, that we, Mandar, and my other country leaders, we do it on a regular basis just to share our secret sauce and exchange ideas and have a continuous conversation for the industry. Okay, you guys saw BIM prototype, so this is one big thing for us that we've launched 2 years ago, and it's been a raving success. eCornell, some may not know about this, but this is something I spearheaded with my team to create a platform with Cornell University out of Ithaca, New York. So what this is basically an 8 program, not long, it's about a couple hours long actually, where we break it down to how to design hotel the Marriott way. And frankly, if you know how to design hotel Marriott way, you know how to design hotel any other way. So it covers MEP, fire protection, IT, loss prevention, interior design. So pretty much the whole scope, all discipline involved in getting a hotel done, but all on one platform at your own pace. You know, we're all professionals. We don't want to tie people up at certain hours. So you can just sign up, and then you could take your time. I believe a few gentlemen came to me yesterday that they took the course. Congratulations, bravo. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. So This is out there. This is for you. This is my legacy to the industry. So Cornell is going well. This, I felt, is something, you know, as we talk about innovation and trend, we cannot forget about our hotel customers, because as I was talking to one of the gentlemen in the audience yesterday, right, we talk about, oh, customer. Well, don't forget, we need more than customer. We need to have associates who will work for us, and they feel that their work environment and their passion and their lifestyle and their daily ritual is coincides and aligned with the way they live. Not like before, you know, you go to work in a dark dungeon hotel room and then you go home. Well, we need to make sure that the spaces are aligned. One great example, I don't know it will ever get there, but my challenge to the team has always been, what if the front of the house and the back of the house is no longer separated? And people go, how is that possible? It cannot be done. Well, is it true? Have we moved something like the display kitchen that used to be definitely part of back of house to the front? Now it's right in guest face. Have we not created eating tables for guests who are VIP to sit right in the kitchen and eating it while the cook cooks? That's all about that re-engineering of taking inside, outside, and messing it all up. Well, how far can we push that? Why do we want to do that? We want to do that because potentially it can create an even more efficient hotel by, I would say, 15-20%. So it needs a lot of thought, a lot of looking into courage by architect, courage by operator, to take a look at some of these suppositions that we've been making all this time. Is it time to change it? Because our customers changing, our employees are changing, and everything else is upside down. Okay, so just very quick, let's not forget, our customer, our millennial, they're not just our customers, they're also people that we're hiring. So the way they behave, the way they spend, it's all actually pretty much the same. So today, 900 billion spending power. By 2025, 65% of the world millennial will live in Asia. That's pretty powerful. Their trade, they're globalized, they're connected, they've been everywhere, they've probably traveled in as much or even more than us. They want authenticity, they want to be collector of experience, right? It's all about adventure, it's all about memorable experience in their stay. Social media, we don't need to talk about that. You and I, we all probably use equally as much social media. Everything must be on Instagram. It's not Instagrammable, then it doesn't exist. Okay, restaurant, bars, it needs to be more flexible, multifunctional, approachable, less formal, authentic food, organic, produce, it's all localized, and it's from the local farm. So this is really some great stuff. This is what should be happening anyway. Private kitchen, we talked about, and a space design. We're also looking at how to create more efficient spaces, more flexible spaces. Flexible, multi-use, you know, because everybody's working differently now, right? Hybrid working. So all of that needs to be reflected in our hotel design as well to capture and maximize the revenue. Compact, nimble, pop-up, This is all what we're doing. We're trying different pop-ups for different hotels and see how they do. They do well, we incorporate it. Doesn't do well, we do something else. Collaboration, co-working, elastic architecture, right? It's all about flexibility. Flexibility in usage, flexibility to move things around depending on the event and occasion. Vertical, functional. This is actually a picture of the bar, the salad bar in JW Hong Kong. And it's very successful because, you know what? There's not much food there. But it looks great. It looks like there's a lot. And because you're designing it that way, people actually take less. They don't take big wad of everything. Because it's designed this way, it changes the customer behavior. Right? Think about that, the power of that design can change behavior. And this is a proof of just that. Big data. Let me tell you, I mean, there are big brothers are watching you. There are sensors, lenses, all kinds of things, all built into light, switches, everything there. And basically, but from not from a security point of view, but from usage of the big data point of view for us, is that we can actually, in the future, analyze all of the big data, and we can know that this table doesn't get used as much as that table. And that table doesn't get used as much as this. That table in the back doesn't get used at all. Why? Why is that? Is it the lighting? Is it because the speakers are too far? So all of a sudden, the big data can really help you resolve and improve your profitability, your layout, so that you can have seating in the place that are attractive and customer want to stay. So the power of big data is coming. Well, it's here. Okay, I won't get into big data. It's everywhere and it's coming hard. Virtual augmented reality. This is something I think most of you understand, but we are using it more and more. And the 3D modeling, the BIM package that we're talking about, that owner get to review a design only maybe a couple of months after you sign up to the BIM prototype package. Just in a couple of months, you'll be walking through the entire design virtually. That you can say, oh, wow, I didn't know the space is this big, or I don't really like that color wall. Can we change it? Done. It's changed instantly before you even spend one more dollar on the material or time. It's all presented to you so that you really know what you're signing off and not just looking at plans, elevations, sections. Okay, virtual reality, AI. AI is scary. It is actually, most of it is written by males, Caucasians, so they are biased, but that's what we have to live with. We just need to realize it, and we utilize AI for what it's worth, which is design, which is the part that we're interested in. But some people say, oh yeah, no, AI is great, it's, it's universal, it's not biased. It is biased. There is things about it that will create some issues, the dark side, but let's focus on the positive. Okay, so AI intelligence, what you can see here that I want to highlight, Mid-Journey program. How many people heard of Mid-Journey? If you could just raise your hand. Fantastic, that's a lot. Okay, so Mid-Journey is going to be presented at the end of the day. I'm going to have my guy sitting in Hong Kong, We're going to do a live demo. He's going to be here, and he's going to show you some of the mid-journey project that they are currently doing. And then we're just going to go for fun and say, Vincent, why don't you type in, I like to see a 200-room resort in Bali, organic design with shape of a pine cone. And let's see what he come up with in 30 seconds. And let's go from there. I think the result will astonish you, it will worry some of you, and excite many others. So Mid-Journey, that's all artificial intelligence through ChatGPT, version 6 coming up next year. It will be 5 times more powerful than currently. So it's coming hard, and it may catch a lot of people by surprise. Okay, BIM, this is what we're already using, as you can see from the 4-point in Bali. And finally, robotic. People say, okay, that's way down there. We're not going to have robots checking us in. Perhaps not. But you know what? We, as a company, is testing Spot, S-P-O-T. That's a little robot that looks like a dog. And you can put him on site. He go and charge himself in the corner every day. And he's programmed to walk the site, complete site, exact same route once a day, send back feedback to owner, to Marriott, to architects, once in the morning, once at night, or whatever interval you want him to. And then he will keep track of the progress, where there may be pain points, where there may be bottlenecks, where there may be quality problems, and he will be basically this watchdog, robotic watchdog for your project. And this is here already. The only problem is they're not too cheap. They are about, if you can do a massive deal with it, they're about 200,000 US per dog. Quite an expensive dog. But if you think in terms of your project that lasts 3, 4, 5 years, I think 200,000 is not so expensive if can keep your project on track and know exactly what's happening and to be able to correct problems before you get there. Because, by the way, it's all hooked in BIM. So anything that's happening in BIM environment, the dog will know and will catch it as well. Quite interesting. Okay, blockchain, I think everybody know about it. I think the only point here that is interesting is that in the future with blockchain, you don't need to have architect, contractors submit for your invoices and then you challenge. I don't think you're at 45%. I think you only did 30%. Through blockchain, basically all of that would be done away with because there's other way to check your work and direct payment. So blockchain would be a very good thing for the business as a whole to keep everybody in the straight and narrow. Okay, disruptors. There's always going to be disruptors. And we have to be ready for it. Marriott is ready for it. But that's why they call disruptors. There's plenty of them that we don't even know about. But the ones that we do know, obviously, Airbnb, Uber, Amazon, Tesla, Alibaba, and many, many more to come. And so this is all about technology, and we need to embrace it. We need to be always updated on what's coming up because it is moving like a speed train. Okay, that's my part. Any questions? Any questions at all? Any thoughts? Anybody scared? Good, good. Okay, let's move on. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Bank. First of all, a round of applause for him, please. Starting the day two on such a spectacular note, touching upon AI and technology when it comes to hotels and hotel designs. It is amazing what technology is doing today. But while we're talking about technology, there is yet another very, very important subject that one wants to touch upon today, and that is sustainability, especially when it comes to the hotel industry. How is it that hotels and resorts are making their properties eco-friendly? How is it that sustainable hotels can be businesses that are actually profitable as well? How is it that we can think about our ecosystem? How is it that we can make sure that the major capital expenditures are addressed and they actually relate to convert into profits? Talking about all this and more is going to be a very, very interesting trio. And to begin with this session, may I please extend a very warm welcome and present to you Mr. Sri Bhandari, founder and principal advisor, Trust Team Hospitality Advisors. A round of applause as he steps on stage first and takes this segment to a spectacular end.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everybody. Michael is in great spirit, and so am I. The reason for Michael was gin and tonic. For me, it was beer. Since we all are from hospitality industry, I'm sure someone is going to walk up to me and say, Shri, by the way, beer is not a spirit. Believe me, it works better for me. It works great. Yesterday, we heard about profit by design. We heard Michael and Karen and their team talk about it. Today, we're going to talk about profit by sustainability. Is it a fashion? Is it a fad? Or are we actually seeing the truth happening? So I would just ask the AV team to play the video.
Climate change continues to trigger extreme weather conditions around the world, impacting many of the communities in which we live and work. In recent years, dozens of Marriott-branded properties have been significantly affected by wildfires, floods, and hurricanes. Of course, the impacts go far beyond the properties, endangering and disrupting the lives of associates, customers, and loved ones. As climate impacts intensify across the globe, Marriott remains focused on making a positive and sustainable impact on the environment and in our communities. In September of 2021, Marriott announced its commitment to set science-based emissions targets to do two things. One, reduce our carbon footprint by nearly half by 2030, and two, to reach net zero emissions by no later than 2050. Our teams have been hard at work developing strategies to achieve these targets. The results of these efforts is Marriott's Climate Action Program, a comprehensive approach to reduce our carbon footprint and enable climate-smart growth and decision-making. The Climate Action Program, or CAP for short, is part of Serve 360's Sustain Responsible Operations Coordinate and another activation within the Hotel Earth framework. From expanding access to renewable energy for hotels to partnering with a global network of suppliers, CAP provides a roadmap for Marriott's journey to reaching net zero carbon emissions. As I talk to our customers, investors, and associates, I know that CAP is the right thing to do for the planet and for our business. Over half of our top 100 customers, representing $1.8 billion in annual revenue, have set science-based carbon emission reduction targets. These customers are actively reducing their carbon footprint, and they expect us to do the same. Importantly, our associates expect us to do more, and so do our future associates. In a recent study, over 76% of Gen Z adults have said that addressing climate change is one of the biggest concerns they have, leading them to join companies with strong sustainability and climate action plans in place. Certainly, our road to net zero emissions will be a journey. This year, CAP will focus on building climate fluency, so we understand the impact of carbon on our business and how each of us will play a role in achieving our goals. You can start by visiting Marriott's Serve 360 page on MGS to learn more about Marriott's carbon footprint, ways you can start reducing your hotel's carbon footprint, and review what's ahead. By working together to reduce our carbon emissions across every area of the organization, we can all do our part to minimize the impacts of climate change. Thanks for all you do and for joining us on this journey.
So we just heard Mr. Tony Capiano talk about the vision for Marriott by 2030. And when this topic was introduced to me, I was really excited and happy to be on stage because I've served Marriott for almost 13 years, and 13 years I've been serving the owners. And though we talk a lot about sustainability, it's all about, does it make economically viable for me? And that's the whole idea of profit by sustainability. Just to give you an example, I'm someone who carries a bottle of water with me when I go to the airport. And one of the reasons is, yes, I want to be sustainable, but at the same time, I save myself by buying expensive bottle of water at the airport. So it's also economical for me. You just heard one thing. Top 100 customers of Marriott has a 1.8 billion target. What does that mean? There are a lot of corporate houses who actually want to prove that, yes, my company is sustainable, and they make sure whenever their management and whenever their people travel, they stay at a sustainable hotel and they also travel sustainably. What does that mean? That means that we open a channel for our sales and marketing people, and when they go and meet these customers, these clients, these corporate houses, they can tell, look, this is a sustainable hotel. When your people stay in our hotel, they save so much carbon footprint. And that's a measurable. We're going to have Reshu Singh and also Michael Wang. Reshu's going to tell us how you can actually measure the carbon footprint that is used per room. That's going to be very exciting for us. So let me call upon stage Michael Wang to start with his presentation.
Tony Capuano pretty much says it all, and I was thinking the last thing I want to do is stand up here and tell you reduce water 30%, reduce this by 1.5. We don't need to do this. I think there's enough information out there, but I think what's important for you to take away with is a couple of things. One is you should all give yourself a big round of applause for being the only country with more LEED, gold LEED, platinum LEED certified hotels than anywhere that we're used to. That's an incredible feat. That is absolutely awesome. And I have a theory. I think part of it is just because Indian owners typically hold on to your hotel for a very long time. You don't flip it. And also because you have a very strong sense of what needs to be done to protect the earth, protect India for the future of your family and future generations. So thank you for that. And in that, we just want to share with you just very quickly, again, Tony said a lot, and he touched on the key point. But we felt that as a company, we are a little bit behind on sustainability. Owners are asking, do you have a guideline? You own 1,000 hotels, 8,500 hotels to be exact. What kind of a guideline do you have to give me so that I can meet sustainability goals? And of course, as you know, there's different levels of sustainability goals. How can I reach the minimum? How can I reach gold? How can I reach silver, right? So there's a lot of information out there by groups that are doing it for different reasons. So we took it upon ourselves 3 years ago. COVID kind of gave us time to really pull together a design standard for Asia Pacific. And I must repeat this so that it doesn't come back and haunt me. This is not a Marriott global initiative. This is something that I felt strongly enough about, Karen felt strongly enough, Mandar felt strongly enough to do it. So we did it in the continent to do this. So this is our time, our money, our effort. So I'm very proud of it, and to be able to now share it with you, I think it's just one of those great story and great feeling. So what we did was we figured out what do we need to do to have a design guideline specifically for sustainability that addresses all of the issue. Did you guys know that just building orientation that is done the right way, it could affect 30% energy consumption? Imagine that. Just by you orienting the building properly, you already saved 30%. And then the rest of it, MEP, solar panel, water consumption, all of that, right? We'll just add to it. But there's so much we can do. Okay, so phase 2, this is the final working. And you have heard from Tony, the world collective goal. We know it's about really limiting the global warming to 1.5 degree. And why sustainability? I think we all know why. But all of this stuff, you feel it, right? Weather is changing, it's warmer, it's colder, it's drier, it's flooding, all of that. So I don't think we need any graph to show us what's really happening. So 1.5 degree, that is the goal, and that's what we're all trying to achieve. Okay, impact on the ocean level rise. Again, everything that we can feel it. This is not some pie in the sky idea. This is not some theory. This is happening all around us. So let's keep going. I don't want to. So the key thing is we wanted to figure out what is the best way to create a sustainability design guideline that is useful, frankly, not just for hotels. This could easily apply for other building type, but doesn't matter. You create something that is useful for every building type, and hopefully it will make the whole world better. So why now? For obvious reasons. Clock is ticking, and most importantly, this is coming from our customers. Hate to have to wait until this kind of situation to kind of kick us in the ass, but that's the fact, is that when you finally have customers, the millennials, who are telling you, guys, in the future, if your hotel is not sustainable, I'm not coming. And I think only with that type of message that's coming from our customers is unfortunately the reason forcing many of us to take on sustainability. It's because eventually the millennials are going to say, if you cannot reach certain level of environmental sustainability, I'm not coming to your hotel. So whatever it takes, but this is one of many reasons why we need to do this. Okay, anyway, it's all about the customer expectation. I won't go through this. Global trend, what's happening around the world. Some are having taxable schemes, which always help. You know, whenever a government give you tax incentive, it always helps to push things along. Some countries are doing better than others. Lack of market demand, operating costs, you know, it can show you that there is great benefit to supporting sustainability. Again, each one of the key country as to what they're doing currently related to rebate and incentive loans and so forth. Okay, so our goal is basically to have this document that can be given to every owner, and also give you leads certified companies that can assist you through this process. Unfortunately, it's not like filling out a visa form. You just fill out some numbers and submit it. This is actually a very long process that you need to continually apply and make sure you're qualified. So it's not simple, but it's not extremely difficult either. You just have to get on utilizing somebody like a lead certified company. There are many. We have a list that we can provide to owners, and basically you need to engage them, and then they help you through the submission process and all the way through, so that your hotel that is truly platinum deserve to get the platinum certification in the end, and not miss a certain application and process and end up not getting it. So it is kind of important, this additional step in getting LEED certification. Okay, I won't go over that. So this right here is a driving force process for the quality. So it related to brand, development, design, operation. So it's a whole complete cycle, right? It's not just about design, it's not just about development. This has everything with beginning and end, and then how to operate a hotel with plastic bottles and so on and so forth. This is all included. And so here it is. This is a solution guideline tool. It basically, we try to be reasonable at this point. So if you're doing a Fairfield, right, there's a category that we recommend you to reach. If you're doing a JW, then there's a little bit higher standard that we hope that you can reach. If you want to go for max, please, at least the documentation is there. If you want to go a little bit less because of investment, location, whatever, you can do that as well. We want to keep this document very flexible because this is not law. This is a guideline, right? This is a reference for you to do the best you can based on your budget, based on your belief, so on and so forth. So it's all very clear, and this will be passed along. We have launched it, so any owner will get this document and the consultant, and please go over it. It's actually very easy to read. It's not like our Marriott Design Guide, 170 pages. This is much, much easier to read, and you can just kind of look at some of the key area that you want to study. And if you have questions, you always have Mandar, Jidesh, and others who can help you explain what each of the particular requirements or recommendations are. But here it is, Sustainable Design Standard, Asia Pacific. I have to say I'm so proud that we did it, not Marriott, but Asia Pacific Global Design did it. So thank you, appreciate it. Okay, so all of this is in there. You know, it's related to LEED, WELL, BREEAM. So all of it is covered, recommended level, and it goes through each discipline, each area, low-hanging fruit, high-hanging fruits, everything that you can tackle through your designer. Obviously, if it's a resort, there's a little bit different requirement for that. Okay, let's all make an impact on people on the planet for the future and for profit. I think there is a better case study, so I'll stop here in the interest of time. Yeah, the
Thank you so very much for the To tell us more, to take us through the case study and more, may I please extend a very warm welcome and invite Ms. Rishu Singh, Director, Confluence, who will be talking a lot about sustainability and how we can make it profitable. So a round of applause for her, please.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. Lovely to be here with this beautiful audience. Michael, you've covered so much. I really have to now rethink what do I need to speak, but I think you've set the ground really well. And I'm definitely here to share our stories, our experiences. That's what I'd like to talk to you guys more about. The green. Okay. Green button. There is the green. Okay, there's a little bit of glitch. Okay. I am. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I was given this topic. To be honest, I wanted to probably speak about a little more, but they said, you know what? Everybody is kind of interested in this word. But what they really wanted to do was get profit through sustainability. Is there actually a way to achieve profits through sustainability? The answer to that is actually yes. And it's not really difficult. I think it's just a barrier in our heads of actually making the right choices. In fact, sometimes we are making those right choices, but we don't know we're doing it sustainably. We've talked about the millennials. There's a lot of new generations, even in the hotel industry, and everybody is trying to contribute. Everybody is looking at what can I do better for my organization, better for my hotel, better for my profits, and better for my people. And of course, better for my planet. The way that I look at it is that the profit is achievable through building a smart building and a sustainable building. And that's probably what I'm going to cover today in the given time frame I have. I think this is a very pertinent question. Why should I build sustainably? I'm going to give you a few fact checks as well as some stories. Well, when we started our journey with the Marriott Group, we got in touch with one of the developers in Pune. And this was one of the hotels, the JW Marriott Pune. It's about 2008, 9, 10. This is when this project got really commissioned. We were brought on the project a little later. This wasn't from concept, so really we didn't have the opportunity to play around with the orientation and many other things. Some decisions were already made. But to your surprise, and Michael, this is something, and this is, I'm talking about LEED version 2, version 1, basically. The owners had made a few decisions based on Marriott's guidelines. And when we came on board, we realized that a lot of efficient decisions have been made. The orientation was actually something that we couldn't really play with. It was a very linear plot on Senapati Bapat Road, and it had to be probably built in this manner. But the engineering decisions that were made along the course, and all the other material decisions also that were made along the course, were actually quite pro-LEED already. And that's when, in the mid-journey of the project, we said, look, yes, we know what we can do. The project not only looked at the HVAC systems, the water systems, materials, but in fact, we also went back to analyze systems like the kitchen hood. You're not looking at a building just from the perspective of lighting, HVAC. The building is Every building is unique and every hotel is unique and the functions are unique. All you're looking at is that where's the opportunity to address and what better can be done. This project was over baselines. At that time, it performed 40% better than the baselines. Of course, the project did go on complete 100% renewable energy. The company had invested. I think the owners were very, very invested in the entire program. But so did the Marriott guidelines actually play a very, very important role, very silently in the background. And once the project was out, and we actually reached out to the Marriott team based out of Mumbai. At that time, I used to be in Mumbai too. We reached out to them, and just by talking to the team, a couple of years later, they said, you know what, this project is doing really well. We want to know what y'all did there, and we want to know each and every specifications that were installed, and can you actually build out a case study for us? This probably would be in one of the emails that probably the Marriott team has, but we actually built a complete case study, something similar to what Michael's done now, probably at a more elaborate level. But what we did is we targeted the energy segment specifically for the building, and we spoke about, and you can actually see the blue. The blue is actually the model, the energy model that had been built by us. The process is simply to predict the energy demands of a building by using the relevant or the specifications that the owner has in mind, and then predicting before you build the project, saying what's the percentage or what's the most likely percentage of your energy reduction. And that time, of course, we didn't have data, but today we have data, and that's how we could say, and this is something that they had requested us, and we actually built this out for them. Come to another project by the same team. In fact, I think we have Madhav also here today in the audience, Madhav Joshi, who's the architect for this Ritz-Carlton. We worked with him since the last 6-7 years, I think, this project, till it's been commissioned. And again, the design process, the design thinking started at a very initial stage, where we could, again, look at from whatever orientation, how the LEED guidelines are going to impact us, and every decision was made through the lens of sustainability. Every decision was made through the lens of LEED. And this hotel is, again, a platinum hotel. I'd like to talk to you about my journey, or as an organization, my organization's journey in the hotel industry as well. We've been fortunate to be a part of some of these design projects, but we've also been a part of a lot of audit projects. So by the virtue of being partners with EarthCheck, we actually audit a lot of hotels every year. And all these projects that we audit are committed to a certain guidelines, are committed to a certain benchmarking and an improvement. An improvement could be a 0.5%, a 5%, a 2%, whatever little that is there on an individual owner basis or an individual hotel basis. And the system sort of tracks it. And by that virtue, we've actually got data of more than 100 hotels in the last 3 years. And the data speaks for itself. On an average, these hotels are performing 30 to 40% better than their peer hotels that haven't been committed to any guidelines. Now, I'm not particularly saying that one has to follow from a kitchen hood to choosing your HVAC system, to your lighting system, to ensuring a conference room can be daylit during a conference as well. All those, from the design to engineering, those decisions will actually make up the entire story or the journey. What these hotels are actually doing is constantly measuring. And I think it's a no-brainer, and everybody probably knows this by today, that anything that we can measure is something that we can improve upon. Now the question is, if I'm convinced that yes, there's profit, because if my energy is lower, I have definite profits, right? I am consuming less, then what's my approach? So I did think to put down a few systems. Of course, Michael, again, had shown you a glimpse already. But there are a plethora of systems available across the world today. And all of them, actually, principally, are working on the same principles, right? With a little bit of variation and a little bit of, I would say the lens that they're looking through is a little different. We've also got the lead version 5 that's just being launched, and the versioning is just making things tougher. That's all that lead is doing. It's saying, how can you push your limits a little higher, how can you make better decisions? If you were 20%, can you do a 21%, 22% this time whenever you're designing? So briefly, any project that a lead certification would look at, the project makes the building the center of your thinking process. That's something that should be clear, where they look at from your energy to how your site is selected, what's your orientation, how water efficient you are, how you choose your materials, how's your indoor environmental quality. A very, very big question these days, considering we are coming from a post-COVID era where we probably understand the infections, and how they can spread in a very, very closer manner now than earlier. It also looks at your location in transport and innovation. So these are all the areas that LEAD covers. All these chapters get expanded. The opportunity here is you can actually choose to do what you want, what you can do as a project, and then the rating system gives you a score basis that. I'm totally defend saying you have to be a LEED Gold, you have to be a LEED Platinum. That should not be something that makes you shy away from actually adopting the system. Even if you're a LEED certified, it starts your journey. It starts your journey to understand what it means and what it takes. To cover the entire process would have been taken much longer, so in fact, that's the reason why I'm keeping it a little short here. There's another certification system that's become very popular, especially with corporates, and that's the WELL rating system. The WELL rating system, again, here while LEED looks at building being the center, WELL says, how can human beings be the center? Ultimately, buildings are designed for humans, right? So while if you look at the parameters, the way they name it or the way they look at it is slightly different. Here, they have concepts like air, water, nourishment, light, movement, thermal comfort, sound, materials, mind, and community. I'll give you an example in water. Now, generally, a building would look at reduction in water, right? So they would say you would look at reusing your water, reducing your water consumptions. But what does water do to us at the end of the day? We probably use it for our consumption. So WELL would ask you to actually check your water quality, not just your STP water quality, which is a general norm, and because our governments mandate us to do the STP quality checks, that's why we have to do it as well. A lot of project owners actually do it, but not just for compliances, but here you're actually checking your drinking water quality for various parameters. You're also looking for E. coli, you're looking for other infections. So what are you making when you're looking at a well-certified building? Or what are you actually shouting out to the audience? What you're telling them is that we care for you, and we're in a constant process to ensure that you're in a safe environment. So this is how a well-rating building would still look at a building, but it would actually look at it from a different lens and introduce certain other things. Similarly, is there nourishment guidelines? Similarly, is there thermal comfort, their mind and community? So, in fact, nourishment, they encourage to be very transparent in the process of taking decisions, or at least making people take those decisions, what they are eating, how healthy are they eating, right? Very interestingly, I was auditing one of the hotels last year. I won't name the brand, I wasn't Marriott for sure. So the hotel, when we were actually looking at what kind of compliances and what kind of innovation they're coming up with, very interestingly, the chef team or the kitchen team actually came up with saying, look, we don't throw any oil out. I was like, how's that possible? How do you guys not have any oil waste? So somehow they convinced me, or at least presented an argument where they said, whatever oil comes out from the kitchen goes to the Chinese kitchen and then is sort of reused to a certain level. Although in my mind, I'm still not convinced how one oil that's gone through a cycle of being used already is being reused. So I did kind of raise this out to the team, although we come from an environmental perspective and not from the food and health and safety perspective. But all that really happens at the back end, right? Now, if there's somebody actually going through a lens of saying, this is what we're going to communicate, or this is what happens, and this is what goes back into your food, I think that brings a lot of confidence on the table. And like Michael was mentioning, the millennials, I'm myself being one, I think we are all looking for truth. We're not looking for advertisements. We're looking for a genuine product. We're looking for a genuine place where we can stay and where we can actually enjoy the comfort without disturbing the environment too much, and ensure that the hotel or the team has taken care of us well. I spoke to you about new projects where you've got certain guidelines and then you can start building them on. But I think the next question comes on to saying, look, I've got 3 existing hotels and I've got, say, maybe 2 coming up new, so I know what to do with my new hotels, but what about my existing hotels? Well, there are programs that are available for existing hotels as well. I am talking to you about, again, the LEAD program. This is actually the dashboard right of the ARC scores. So again, for existing hotels, it starts with measurement. It starts with when you start measuring, and you start to, you start to look at how you're scoring on various parameters. So the parameters primarily that you start to track is your energy, your water, your waste, your transportation, and your human experience. Now, all of these parameters dynamically start to be plugged in, and these dashboards are then available for various stakeholders to look out for as well. I'm going to talk to you a little bit on EarthCheck as well, because it's a very interesting program, and maybe hotels can adopt it. It's the program that we function for is for the existing hotels, and again, similar parameters, just like LEAD, are being tracked, and they have a yearly or a 2-yearly audit program where an auditor would actually come on site, educate your team, look at your data, verify it, and then ensure that whatever readings you're getting from the platform are compliant. In fact, EarthCheck's kind of very, very aligned to GRI guidelines, which are your ESG guidelines as well. So this is a sample of a report of a project in New Delhi. This is their data. So they're looking at from your greenhouse emissions to your energy consumptions, to your pesticide products rating, your corporate social rating, your community commitments, your water and waste is also included. This is, again, just some of the other, this is sort of a part of the performance report that comes out. The algorithm also helps you to understand where you are in terms of other peers. So are you a regional leader? Are you above average? Are you below average? And all this data, like, again, my previous speaker, this data speaks to you. This data tells you what's right and what's wrong. We also come from us as a team, we also do engineering, and these reports, when any retrofit comes in, when a hotel looks at saying, I'm expanding, I'm retrofitting, what can I do, what more can I do? This data really helps, the trend really helps, and this is something more that you can do for your existing hotels. With all the sustainability guidelines, with all the environmental parameters in place, I think the question that most corporates and most people today ask, and in fact, it's a question that's being asked, at a very regular interval, is then, what are we doing next? And what's more here? And I think the answer is the ESG. That's the environmental, social, and governance. While from the outside, it looks like it's quite complicated, but it's really not. What ESG is really doing, it is all bringing this together. This is a hotel I audited, I think, last year in the Maldives region, probably a 5-7-star property. And the kind of efforts they're taking, they're all bringing the local context back to your hotel. So, when they probably chose their roof, they looked out for local craftsmen who can actually build a thatched roof for them from local materials. For them, marine life is a huge, I think because they're in the biodiverse regions, they understand that marine life is very, very important, and they have a huge responsibility there. In fact, they run a marine discovery center, and they not only encourage, saving, say, turtles or, animals, but also encourage people to actually build corals. So they have a coral reef program, so they build the corals, and these are those little stands on which they would tie these artificial corals, and then they go out in the sea as a part of their biodiverse programs, but also encourage their guests to become a part of it, and it becomes a part of the guest experience as well. And they would go back into the sea and plant these corals, and they would name it, they would tag it. You can actually go back and see how much your coral has grown. Now, all of this actually becomes not just part of your environment, but also your social aspects. So there's no right answer. There's no one formula that comes and that one can give for your ESG guidelines. There's probably some guidelines that one can look at for your environmental goals, but for your social, there's so much you can do. This is another project, again in the Maldives. I was very impressed with their kind of work that they're doing. They actually won some awards as well, but from marine life to education, to engaging with the social, engaging culturally. These people have been probably pioneers in the region of establishing a trust amongst the locals that we are here for you. And that's exactly what ESG is. Governance comes from having the right policies in place, ensuring they're being implemented. So in my mind, and we've been working with a few teams that are working on the ESG as well. And I think the whole journey becomes beautiful when the owners get driven to ensure that they're also looking at inclusivity. And again, Michael has presented so much already, but what's the future is also what I wanted to talk to you about. And while I think BIM is something that we've adopted to ourselves, we ourselves are building in BIM, but what's the digital twin taking up, and how does it work in the realm of sustainability is what I also wanted to highlight very quickly, although my time says my time is up. The digital twins are nothing but, probably the same BIM models that you started off with during your construction, become a tool for you to hand over to your facility management. And your BMS and your IoT integration actually assists you to create a value proposition as well as a visual context to your building. Now imagine the data that you're getting from your HVAC system, your BMS system, overlays onto your 3D scanner, your 3D model, and actually helps you create these heat maps. That's what the future is actually looking forward to. These are some of our projects where we are building the digital twins. This is actually a commercial tower, but we are hopefully looking forward to work with a few hotels as well. And the whole visualization actually helps, not just during the construction, but also making better decisions after the whole entire asset management gets addressed from these digital twins. So technology is going to is playing a huge role in the entire journey for your environment, your social and governance. And these are some of the tools that we are currently using, and I encourage one to actually explore them to better in the way that we are doing our work. Last thought I feel is that I think the way that we all want to function is things that are good for the business ought to be good for the planet. That's our story. Thank you so much. Look forward to hear from you more.
Thanks so much, Rishu. May I request you to please give us company a little while longer as we look through this audio visual.
Recently, you heard Tony Capuano announce Marriott's Climate Action Program, the next activation within Hotel Earth and our broader Serve 360 program.
The Climate Action Program is a natural extension of the journey we have been on for many years to reduce our carbon footprint.
The most cost-effective way for Marriott to continue to reduce carbon emission is by reducing our consumption of fossil fuels.
This can be achieved by improving our energy efficiency in existing and new build hotels and purchasing or generating renewable electricity on property.
We are proud of how many properties have already embraced renewable energy and continue to reduce their energy usage year upon year.
Across the globe, properties are using both off-site and on-site renewable energy, such as wind and solar power, to run their operations, and other hotels are working with their local utilities to source renewable electricity where possible.
In our properties and in our offices around the world, increasing the use of renewable energy, sourcing responsible products from suppliers with low carbon footprint, and reducing food waste will also help Marriott reduce its overall emissions.
As Tony said, achieving our targets will be a journey. It'll also require us to think differently about how we do business.
Hotels often think about the three-legged stool of profitability, guest satisfaction, and associate engagement. That must be kept in balance to maximize the long-term results. Now, it's time to add the fourth leg of this stool, carbon impact.
We encourage you to visit Marriott's Serve 360 page on MGS to start building your own climate fluency, where you can learn more about Marriott's carbon footprint, as well as ways you can start reducing your hotel's carbon footprint today.
We are excited to see how we will make progress together on this journey. After all,
我们都是地球的客人。
Nous sommes tous des invités sur cette planète.
Kita Samua Adala Tamu, the planet ini.
We are all guests of this wonderful planet.
A round of applause for what Marriott is doing, the small steps that we are taking for a bigger change and growth. But thank you so much, Reshu. May I request you to please join us center stage, and to thank you, I'd like to welcome Mr. Jay Kalaria, Director, ANJ, Ms. Deepa Ganiriwala, Director, Hospitality, ANJ. Requesting the two of you to please step forward. May I also welcome Ms. Ranju Alex, Area Vice President, South Asia, Marriott International, to please join us on stage. Let's hear a round of applause as she steps forward and acknowledges Ms. Reshu Singh's presence. She and her team have shared some absolutely fantastic examples out there right here. I'd also like to extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Vibhor Srivastava joining us on stage to be a part of this glorious moment. Miss Alex, thank you so very much for being here and adding so much more. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure having you all join us. Thank you, Ms. Singh. Thank you so very much. Well, before we move on, before I share with you what is it that we can look forward to up next, from Reshu's session, we have a lot to learn. One of the most important takeaways right there, how is it that we can do our little bit towards sustainability? What is it that we are doing towards meeting our ESG goals? So ma'am, may I ask you, what is a small change that you feel you add on every day or your team takes a step towards creating a change and thinking about our environment?
To see that the water water takeaway and not to waste and things like that. So everyone is now working towards it.
So being water positive, and you're in the perfect colors, and that's why I started with you in the green there. A round of applause for her, please. Let me come to you, sir, and let me ask you, what do you feel you and your team are doing to meet your personal and your professional ESG goals?
Well, we all are responsible for saving our planet, and that's what we are here for, to contribute a bit. So we teach our architects, we teach our designers to switch off the electrical appliances whenever they are not using them, and things like that, to save water, and to start with the EV cars as far as possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much for that. Well, before I share a lot more, I did request all my audience members to make all our sessions very, very engaging. It's actually your questions, your thoughts that keep it going. And that's where we'd like to introduce to you our next panelist. Our next panelist will really talk about how is it that we can use technology more so when it comes to hotels, design. How is it that technology can help us? And let me now introduce to you our moderator, the one taking forward these conversations will be Mr. Abhishek Sachdev, Director of Hotel Opening, South Asia Marriott International. May I request all of you to please put your hands together as he joins us on stage, and with that very charming personality weaves together this very interesting panel discussion. Let me also present to you Mr. Michael Wang, Marriott International. A very warm welcome to Mr. Sri Bhandari, Founder and Principal Advisor, Trust Team Hospitality Advisors. Let me also welcome Mr. S.P. Reddy, Chairman and Managing Director, Terminus. A round of applause to our expert panelists right here on stage, talking about how we can dive into tech-forward hospitality. Welcome, all yours. Next 25 minutes, a very, very engaging discussion coming your way.
Hello. We are just waiting for a few people to join us for this panel session. We would like to make this session very interactive. Of course, there would be few questions Abhishek would ask us, but once he's done with those basic questions, we would then like to open up. Please feel free, ask us questions. And one more thing, just like to clarify, when we talk about technology, it's always IT. So this is not about IT. This is about using tech in building, design, and management. So how are we going to use it? So that's the whole idea and the crux of this panel session. So please feel free, ask questions. I could see a lot of new owners. You have that excitement, that anxiety that how do I do it, how do I deploy it, and that's why we are here to answer your questions.
Many people as possible, so we can have a very robust dialogue and exchange of ideas and conversation. Everybody taking coffee break, I guess.
We are just waiting for all the crowds to come in because we really want to make this session exciting for all of us. But before we do that, we have some exciting news for you. So there's something really nice that's going to happen on this stage. So just hold your breath.
Well, as we create some fantastic experiences right here, I think what really does convert into business and new relationships as we go on to strengthening them. This is a moment of celebration. I'd like to request the Marriott team to please join us on stage as we welcome Mr. Murari Agarwal and his family from Vrindavan to sign an MOU as we look forward to starting a brand new relationship in a brand new destination. May I request all of you to please put your hands together as we extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Murari Agarwal and Mrs. Murari Agarwal along with the Agarwal family right here. Welcome, Parul ma'am. Sending a very warm welcome to Mr. Murari Agarwal, Mrs. Parul Agarwal and the family. I'm welcoming them on stage for signing the MOU with the Marriott team. May I please request Ms. Ranju Alex to be a part of this spectacular moment right here, requesting the presence of Ms. Ranju Alex. May I also welcome Ms. Karen Kim to join us on stage for signing the MOU with the Agarwal family. May I request all of you to please put your hands together as we create a fantastic moment right here on stage by signing an MOU between the Agarwal family and the Marriott team as we look forward to opening a brand new Marriott in Vrindavan, the city of gods.
Thank you, and I request Ranju to say a few words, and of course, the lovely couple. Give them a hand for this auspicious occasion, a great moment, and we created this great moment, and I'm so glad to be a part of this, Ranju.
You know how to put me on a spot. No, but hearty congratulations, sir. Thank you for giving us the trust, the confidence of carrying your legacy forward. We are partners, and we promise you and assure you that we will try our level best to take your branding and our branding together, the partnership to higher levels. And all the very best. Congratulations to the development team. I think that's a great signing. And now the projects and the global design team now are into your foray. I'll come into your life a little later when the hotel is up and about, but we shall work together, and hearty congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alex, for those kind words. And I'd like to request Mr. Murari Agarwal to please share a few words with us.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
आज एक हमारे लिए बहुत ही अच्छा ये टाइम है। मैरियट की डेवलपमेंट टीम और होटलियर इंडिया, 2 दिन का जो हमारा एक्सपीरियंस था बड़ा अमेजिंग था। हमको दिल से ये महसूस हुआ, चाहे वो मैरियट की टीम हो, चाहे वो होटलियर इंडिया की टीम हो, चाहे हमारी जक्वा जो इसके सभी लोगों ने मिलके इस इवेंट को बड़ा यादगार बनाया। और सभी लोगों की जो सोच थी वो प्रोग्रेसिव थी, कोऑपरेशन वाली थी। वृंदावन बांके बिहारी की भूमि है और वहाँ पर एक अच्छा होटल मैरियट आए। आप सब लोग उसके फैमिली के मेंबर हैं, फैमिली के मेंबर रहेंगे। होटल आपका ही होगा, वो मैरियट का होगा, और एक अच्छे एक्सपीरियंस के साथ पूरी देश और दुनिया से जो लोग आएंगे, हम कोशिश करेंगे कि वो एक अच्छा फील वहाँ से लेके जाएं।
पारुल जी, आपसे दरखास्त करेंगे कि कुछ खास शब्द वृंदावन में जो एक ये कहते हैं ना खुशी का माहौल छाने वाला है, प्लीज शेयर फ्यू वर्ड्स विद अस।
जय श्री कृष्णा। आज हम लोग जो यहाँ पर हैं, वी आर ऑल मेकिंग अ हिस्ट्री, वी आर मेकिंग अ हिस्ट्री, यू नो। अभी तक बहुत सारे मैरियट हैं और आगे भी बहुत सारे होंगे, बट वृंदावन में इट्स गोइंग टू बी द फर्स्ट 5 स्टार। डिवोटीज को एक अच्छा लग्जरियस स्टे मिलेगा, एंड यू पीपल विल विटनेस द हिस्ट्री ऑफ मेकिंग इट। दैट्स ग्रेट।
थैंक यू फॉर दोस काइंड वर्ड्स।
मैं आई जस्ट वांट टू ऐड अ फ्यू वर्ड्स। मैं एक चीज़ आपसे बोलना चाहूँगी कि हमारे ग्लोबल सीईओ आए थे टोनी अप्रैल में, और हमारी मुलाकात नहीं बोलनी चाहिए, इट्स अ फ्लिपेंट वर्ड, ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी के साथ हुई थी। और उस 45 मिनट मीटिंग में मोदी जी ने हमें ये बोला था कि इंडिया का फ्यूचर है रिलीजियस टूरिज्म। उन्होंने हमें ये बोला कि 31 दिसंबर को टिपिकली गोवा में सबसे ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट आते हैं। 2022 दिसंबर 31 को काशी में सबसे ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट आए थे, गोवा से भी ज़्यादा। तो उनका मानना और हम सबका भी मानना है कि इंडिया में रिलीजियस टूरिज्म विल बी एट द फोर फ्रंट। सो इट्स डेफिनेटली यू विल क्रिएट हिस्ट्री मैम, एंड आई एम वेरी प्राउड। एब्सोल्युटली। सो ऑल द बेस्ट।
एक बात मैं और आपको बताऊंगा कि पहले सबसे ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट जाते थे तिरुपति बालाजी और साउथ में। पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि नेक्स्ट ईयर हमारे वृंदावन में 6 करोड़ 6 CR टूरिस्ट आए हैं, और हमने ये जो होटल प्लान किया है, और ऐसे टूरिस्ट आते हैं जो अच्छी हॉस्पिटलिटी चाहते हैं। और वृंदावन NCR से भी नज़दीक है, बिहारी जी को लेके सबकी आस्था भी है, लेकिन सब लोग चाहते हैं कि एक अच्छी हॉस्पिटलिटी भी हमको वहाँ मिलेगी। उसके लिए मैरियट और हम साथ में गए हैं, और ये बहुत लंबे सफ़र पे गए हैं। अभी तो 25 ईयर की है, वो पता नहीं फिर वो लंबा सफ़र कितना चलेगा।
Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal.
बिल्कुल।
In fact, Ms. Alex, I'll be sharing with you a little bit. Yesterday, when Mrs. Parul Agarwal mentioned that they're looking forward to the starting and taking forward this beautiful relationship further, I think now's the time to celebrate it. And I'd also like to request for the cake, because they always say, मिठास से जो जिंदगी में भर सकते हैं वो और किसी चीज़ से नहीं. And it's a fantastic platform for our entire team. You know, the endeavor of Hotelier India, Marriott International, right here. Of course, Mr. Bibor Srivastava's entire team. I think we hold this moment all the more special because this MOU is being signed. So I think our efforts have come to a great place of celebration, which is why I'd like to request the entire development team, the entire team who'll take it forward, the Agarwal family, Hotelier India, to please join us center stage for the cake cutting ceremony. Like we said, we'd love to take these spectacular moments to the next level. And our panelists are wondering that this is happening at such an opportune time. We couldn't have expected a better timing for this. So we are very, very glad that we are using this platform of Global Design Confluence 2023 to take the celebration forward. अग्रवाल साहब, मैं सबसे पहले जब आपकी लॉन्च होगी, सबसे पहले मैं ही आऊँगी जय श्री कृष्ण कहते हुए और वहाँ के बिहारी जी का आशीर्वाद लेने. Requesting for our team to please help us Miss Alex, please do give us company for just a little bit longer. We'd like to do a cake cutting ceremony. I'd like to request all of you all to please join us as we take this beautiful moment further. Many, many congratulations to a beautiful partnership as we look forward to strengthening it. Everybody's getting a bite of that. We're going to send that to the dessert table and not allow any more bites here. Thank you so very much. Well, very soon we're going to begin with our segment. I did promise you a fantastic panel discussion, requesting the hotel staff to please take the cake to the dessert table. May I request someone from the hotel team to please step forward? You can take the cake. Gentlemen, the stage is all yours. Abhishek, we're looking forward to you weaving this segment together. They say that the panel discussion that has the maximum activity is always going to turn out the best, and I don't think you could have had a better start to this. So over to you.
Check. Gentlemen, good morning. Good morning, everyone, once again.
Morning.
We're coming out of a high energy signing, so we've got to maintain the momentum and keep the discussion with equal energy, and hopefully towards the end, we can also take a few questions, right? We'd like to make this interactive as much as possible. If I could request everyone to settle down on your respective tables, and we would like to start the session now. Thank you so much. Let me start with you, Michael. One of the major problems that most hospitality projects face is delays. And there are many reasons behind those delays. One aspect of those delays could be project management. We all understand, we all concur, this time is money, right? What are some of the existing tech tools that hotel owners can deploy to bring efficiency in hotel design, build, and management?
Well, there's quite a few. Remember I talked about the fact that when I was working on hospitals, that it's an extremely complicated building type, and that hospitality actually is not far behind It's a little bit simpler, but again, hospitality needs to look great. Hospitals don't. So when you're dealing with a very complex building type, I would say basically designing a hotel is like designing a small city. Think about it, right? We looked at yesterday the Manning guide for 300 room, 300 key hotels. You need 1.5 Manning per room, right? So now you're running a hotel with about 500 people running around behind the scene. So the point is, it's a very complicated building type. And you need all of the expertise to pull it all together. And Marriott, a lot of time owners think that, well, Marriott, you're the professional, you've done this 1,000 times. You should be able to do this with your eyes closed. Why can't you help us to get it done quickly and easily? Unfortunately, it's not that simple because there are so many disciplines involved. You do need to have a professional project management company, individual, small team to orchestrate the entire process. Because once you go off on one thing and it's delayed, the knock-on effect of delay for all the other disciplines becomes that much worse. So the only way I can say it is you have a couple of choices. You saw the 4 points where we did complete BIM, complete prototype, and then the only thing you need is basically a competent contractor because they know how to build hotels. And of course, I'm talking about one with experience. So in a way, that model does help to mitigate the process by taking away as many of the, I call them the uncertainties as possible. So if you take away design uncertainties, if you take away cost uncertainties, if you minimize the amount of design consultants that you need, and then wrap it all up, give it to a contractor who knows what he's doing, build it, he knows his schedule, he knows his crunch, bottleneck and where he needs to catch up and all of that. I think that is probably the best way to speed things up, right? Is to reduce uncertainties. Did I answer your question? Because I think...
Yes, I mean, if you could also touch upon, apart from the tool we mentioned in 4 points, the prototype, any other tech that you're aware of which you'd like to share with the audience?
Any other way to improve the bottleneck?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so prototype is one, and I think AI will slowly come in and take on some of that, right? Because BIM, Building Information Modeling, it is an AI program, and it's kind of like the movie. It's Klingon. It is becoming self-aware more and more every day. Eventually, it will take on more and more of that function of being predictive, right? It is machine learning, predictive learning. It will know when typical problem happens during construction, and it'll watch out for it. And it'll let you know that this is coming, this bottleneck is coming, this long lead item is coming, right? So AI, I do believe, will take on a lot of that watchdog, watching your program, kind of see the problem before they come to help mitigate.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Reddy, we all agree that time is money, but we also know that money is money, right? As a hotel owner, what is your point of view towards utilizing the tools that Michael just referred to? As a larger group, I mean, we have a lot of owners in the room today. Do today's hospitality asset owners acknowledge the prospect efficiencies that these tools bring to the table?
Okay. Before I say that, I just wanted to correct what Ranju Alex said on the stage. She said, हमारे जुड़वा भाई ने कहा था उनको कि भाई रिलीजियस टाउन्स में होटल्स के बहुत डिमांड है. मैंने उनसे पहले कहा था, 2021 में कहा था मैंने. So I had done a study with ENY to see the trends where the hotels have to go. So we said temple towns and religious towns. So next time when you meet him, madam, please tell that, okay? So now, as far as the question that you asked, you know, a lot of things are happening in today's world in terms of technology. And when you look at augmented reality, you have voice searches. Today you can say, you know, find me a hotel in Times Square in 3 kilometers radius and show me the availability. You can do a voice recognition stuff and it just pops up. Augmentation, that's the next thing that I see is, you know, your facade becomes your digital screen. You check into the hotel, you put your key on the facade of your room, then that becomes a screen. It gives you all the data. It connects your IoTs, you know, Internet of Things, you know, virtual reality and face recognition. You know, contactless payments are done because this is post-COVID. A lot of changes have come in terms of use of technology. But this comes at a cost, okay? And it's not easy, okay, for the owners. We have to pick and choose, you know, what is right for the hotel. And the other major thing that I see in today's technology world, which is getting implemented in the hotel industry, after airlines, the hotel industry is the largest industry which deals with the most of the data, okay, apart from the supply chain. So the data that is in and out, you know, so when I check into a hotel, my device becomes the tool to control everything into my room. And I know Marriott has teamed up with Amazon, with Alexa, and also teamed up with Alibaba. Hilton also teamed up with IBM to do certain technology innovations. But the thing is, when you check out, you know, we want to make sure the data that is there on their system is removed. Okay? So it's like you know the cookies, how the cookies work, right? I mean, so you're on airlines, you're trying to search for a room or for an airline ticket. It knows how many times you're searching and it dynamically changes the rates of the room because it knows that you're trying to do it. It keeps increasing it. What's that? Did somebody say? Okay. So, technology is going to play a good role from the hello. कौन बात कर रहा है यार?
That's scary. That's AI.
Oh.
We have been taken over officially.
What are you doing, Wang?
Live example.
Yeah, that's a live example. So these devices are pretty dangerous, you know, these days. You know, your wife knows where you are, you know. So, but at the same time, I like it, you know, because I want to track my daughter where she is. So last night I was tracking her where she is, which restaurant, and she's coming home. So technology is going to play a role, and it also helps. It enables the guys who are working in the hotel industry to achieve things in much faster and smarter way. But the cost is, you know, earlier Marriott's database servers, it was a very expensive one to sit on the property itself. Now with the cloud environment, you know, you don't have to buy that hardware, but the data that you store, okay, is expensive too. So I think technology is definitely going to be a key. I think there's no choice for us. We must invest as entrepreneurs, as hoteliers. We must invest in technology. There's no other way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy. Shri, you have experience across the spectrum on this subject. You come from an IT background with Marriott International, and now you advise and represent ownership groups on hospitality project management. Would you share your remarks about the present situation at hand and how project management tech can add value to overall efficiencies?
Sure. Thanks, Abhishek. In my 13 years of career, on my own as a freelancer and founder for Trust Team, I've done 8 hotels. And you asked a question to Michael, what are the tools being used for project management? And believe me, on all my 8 projects, there's a very efficient tool that we used. It was WhatsApp group. And let me tell you, that is not efficient. It's the worst thing to use. Just imagine over a period of 3 years, 4 years, you're using your WhatsApp chat, multiple groups, MEP group, ID group, architectural group, structural group, and you're not addressing anything to anybody. It just makes your people work overnight, night through night, and they're just replying your emails. And I don't know how efficient is that, but believe me, on all my projects, and if anyone is going to appoint me after this on their project, let me tell you, I'm going to ignore all your messages on WhatsApp, because I don't believe that's the right tool to use. That's my first advice to every hotel owner and project management team here, because you don't realize that when you are actually at the stage of pre-opening, or when you are actually at the stage of handing over the hotel, you don't get the data that you wanted, because you have sent it on WhatsApp, or you have sent it on something, you had sent some important information or message on a WhatsApp which you don't find it. There are a lot of beautiful tools that you can actually use. Michael showed us a great project in Bali, which used BIM, and that's a fantastic tool. Just deploy BIM, and it has a various level of modeling. You have 4D, 5D, 6D, and 7D. It goes up to 7D. When you are up to 6D, it actually gives you your BOM and BOQ for your product, for your project, which if you integrate with some systems, so there is a system called SAP Ariba, which helps you do your procurement. And if you integrate it, you can actually do your RFP through SAP Ariba. So these are all the tools that can be deployed and used for efficient project management. And when I say project management, I work with an owner till the complete life cycle. It's till you hand over the project to Marriott. It will also help you give the right information on data and make your handover very easy. One more question. How many times you see that you are in a meeting room and you say, okay, let's look at the BOH drawing. And there's one guy from your department, he opens up a file and then someone makes a comment, no, this is not the right one. I think there was a revision after this. And then he opens another one. No, I think there was one which came day before yesterday. There's a simple tool called document management system. You can deploy that. That helps you track everything. Every communication that goes with that particular drawing is also tracked. It's already labeled and it's already versioned by date. So these are small tools that you could deploy and actually make your project very, very efficient. And believe me, your handover will be smooth as silk.
Thank you, Sri. Mr. Reddy, out of your experience of project management, would you like to add to what Sri just mentioned?
Sri, what he said is more of a theory. ठीक है? अभी practical में मैं बताता हूँ how it happens, and in India. See, in US, I build hotels and build stuff where the deck comes in one go, right from basement to all the services integrated that are submitted to the municipal drawings, that are approved, and that gets handed over to the contractor to execute it. So everything you do in BIM, in that stage, it works. India में काम नहीं करता यार. वो दो floor एक बार release करता है. Architect releases the drawings, 4 floors now and 6 floors later, then things get changed. But it can be done if we are disciplined enough. So if the architectural guy, the services, and the Marriott design team can put together in one go, okay, in a shorter period of time, and then get it into BIM and not meddle with it, okay, it will happen. But I've built probably about 10 million square foot so far in India, in Hyderabad. It didn't work for me because it keeps changing. People keep adding, partitions here, partitions there. You have an office place which is 6 divided by 6 offices, and then suddenly there's a need for 10 offices, then you do something, services get affected. It's an easy tool, but it has to be an in-house. If you want to a BIM model, either your architectural team or your Marriott team should run that show. If it is controlled by one, then it works. If it doesn't, if you leave it to a developer, it's not going to work. Okay? Hope I answered your question.
Thank you, thank you. Shri, you touched upon WhatsApp as the most effective/ineffective tool. We'll let the larger group decide. How wide is the gap between the current state of affairs and a full stacked, tech-forward setup for design, build, and management?
I think you just mentioned, Mr. Reddy rightly pointed out with all the changes and everything. But again, I have my question that why in India we would have all those changes and not anywhere else? That's a question we should start thinking. It's all about how you deploy it. And he mentioned the right thing. You need to have someone in-house, someone who has the understanding of BIM. I can't just tell someone, look, can you do this in BIM for me? And I have seen projects where they actually do it. They say, yeah, we can do it. We can do you a 4D model that comes in, and believe me, that's useless because someone else has done it for you. So you definitely need someone who understands BIM. You need an integrated team. You need your MEP consultants who can do the same drawing in BIM, who can give us the same time. Only then the coordination can happen. So Abhishek, you mentioned full stack. That's the word. If you want to deploy it, it has to be full stack. Like Michael mentioned, again, I'll go back to the Bali project in Taipei. The only reason they could achieve that because it was a full stack. They took the prototype, they built it over the BIM, and that's where it went from. That's how you can do it. It has to be full stack, or you know what, let's continue the way we are doing.
Thank you for that, Shri.
If I may add to that, I think it's an important point. I've been pushing for and getting my team to push for BIM with owners for over a decade now. And it never works, right? It's very frustrating. The architect used BIM, MEP doesn't use BIM, interior designer used BIM, somebody else doesn't use BIM. This is a platform that everybody has to embrace and use. So then we thought, okay, what do we do now? You got this very powerful platform, but we can't use it? Something wrong here. There's got to be a solution. So then we thought, okay, Marriott, we're the biggest hotel company. We have deeper pocket than others. We have more than 1,000 projects in Asia. Why don't we take the bull by the horn? So that's what we did. We took a BIM platform. We invested 2 years. I thought it was going to be a year, but ended up much longer as usual on any big project like that. So it took us 2 years to customize a BIM platform that has Marriott design standard built in, meaning our BIM program knows exactly where to put each sprinkler head, each lighting socket, everything that you see, it knows exactly where it should be. Okay, then I realized, how can I expect an architectural firm, an MEP firm, an ID firm to invest 2 years of their time to create a BIM platform to suit their need? And then if they do it, it would be what? Maybe just for a core, and it doesn't work for a Marriott project, or maybe it works for a Hyatt project, it doesn't work for some other project. So I realized that the only way we can do it, because we're big enough, is Marriott invests in the customized platform and then use it in the advantage to offer the services to owner and bypass the process. So unfortunate, but that's the way that you have to use BIM. Individually, very difficult.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. So we've heard from an owner, we've heard from an advisor, we've heard from the horse's mouth, Marriott Continent lead. Let's hear from the audience now. We've touched upon the existing, touched upon a full stack as Shri advocates, and we also briefly spoke about the role of AI, which might I say, while we didn't have agreement on AI in design, but AI perhaps could make things better, at least in design, if not in design, build and management. So we can open the house for questions. I did hear in a lot of coffee groups earlier this morning that we weren't getting an opportunity to ask questions, so here it is. And it doesn't need to be limited to the topic at hand. If you'd like to ask any other questions to either of the three gentlemen sitting here, please raise your hand and I'll have someone run a mic to you. Sure. This gentleman right up front. Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, good morning. My name is Romiel Mose. I'm the director of Garnet Interiors. We are your contracting partners. We build beautiful hotels for a lot of owners here and Marriotts, and we're proud about it. I'm trying to address the issue here of delays and cost saving. So a lot of your topics were about cost saving and profit. The best profit comes when you save money on building a hotel. Okay. Usually in the beginning of the project we get caught between the crossfire between the designer, the brand, and the owner. The owner, of course, is saying, okay, I need to save cost. And we definitely have been able to manage to save a lot of cost, sometimes up to 25%, without offending the designer, without offending the brand. So my request is for Mr. Michael, is that you have 33 brands, and if we can have a workshop where we understand the vision of your brand, where you're planning to go, so we know how much leeway we have when we are suggesting an alternative material, an alternative product, and it just helps us serve you, the owners and the brand better. So my request is for a workshop for people like us.
I think workshop is certainly one way. Marriott, we're also trying different methods, which is a couple of things. One is a Marriott Experience Center, where basically you would have all of our key brand, right? They're fitted out, all the materials are in, and it is partnership with a construction company, a factory, and then so you go there and then you can basically see every material that's being used. There are some substitution that you can have, and you can just negotiate directly with that contractor and fix the price and move on. So I think that's one of the better way, and it reduces kind of learning curve because you see it. You know exactly what you're going to get. Whatever it is that you can't quite afford, you can say, well, mine is in a tertiary city. I really need to have something with a little bit lesser finish. Well, we have this, and this has been negotiated with Marriott as a substitution, so on and so forth. So that's the direction we're going. We have a place that's almost done in Dongguan in Guangzhou, China, which have 7 brands, 7 of our key brands, completely fitted out, specified. You can sit there and negotiate with them to get the best price. And if they don't give you a best price, go somewhere else. But at least you would have a very good feel for the products that you're looking at, right? So that's a very good way, I feel, to kind of cut through the chase, the middleman, and all of that. What would you think about that, Mr. Reddy?
I think it's time for Marriott to make such investments in India, to set up that kind of a experience center. At Marriott headquarters in Maryland, you have an innovation center now. It's actually about 100,000 square foot. Last time I was talking to Tony. I think you need that in India because this is a growing market and Marriott is expanding. as an owner, I get excited when these architects present, and all their interiors, it looks wow, and we get carried away. We blame them, right? So it's the architect, his job is to get the best product out. But what I see in this generation and even the earlier generations of architects is now they're trying to understand the cost implications. They're trying to educate the owners. Look, this is the local material. This is what you should use. This is what you should use. I think it is for us as entrepreneurs and hoteliers is to look at those things, okay, and ensure that the costs are managed well. I mean, costs can go berserk in this industry if you don't pay attention. You have to have a costing guy. You have to have a guy who is looking at the technology implementation, your construction partner. So if you can budget, again, this is another thing I've experienced in the last 10 years is we start off a project, okay, and it's a work happening all the way. Okay, the plans are not there. I can't float a tender. I can't float the interior tender because the interior's design comes much later, and we just make an assumption what the cost is. If you don't control that, if you don't have an insight, so in US, we are trained to plan the work, not work the plan. So we do the plan and then work. Here, we work the plan, we continues to work as we go along, and the cost just keeps varying. So the young hoteliers who are here today, who are going to be hoteliers for the next future generations to come, it's important for all of you guys to understand how you plan. Planning at the early stage will cost your project much less than what you anticipated. Though you have your contingency costs, don't get excited with the contingency costs. We put 5% of the total, 200 crores, 5% of contingency costs is a lot of money, okay? And then you do another 5% or 10% of cost escalation, that's another 20, 30 crores. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I always challenge my team, unless I understand as an owner what the budget is, and I keep challenging the brand also. When I ask Jui or Kiran, they say JW costs about 1.5 crores or 1.6 crores, and I'll challenge them saying that I can do it for 1.2. You can do it, okay? But you can't say I can do it half the price, but you can do it. But having the discipline in us as the owners, okay, is very, very important, and having a team that understands the cost and its implication. And also I strongly say this because I've seen this over and over, why hotels in India have taken too long to build. Something that starts in 2010 gets done in 2022 with only half the rooms done. It's because of the financial discipline we don't have the financial tie-ups, and who gets affected with that? The architect gets affected, he doesn't get paid, all the consultants don't get paid, then suddenly the banks take over. I just took over 2 hotels, 500-room hotel, fantastic hotels, overburdened with debt. I took it over with much, much less cost, but I'm going to invest some more. So if you could look at the debt and your loan ratio to be like 60-40, take 60% debt, 40%, put your own money, that's when you have fun. I mean, I always tell young guys, I met a girl yesterday, she said she was planning to build 250 rooms Fairfield in Guwahati. I said, rethink. You may not need 250 rooms, you may need 120 rooms, 125 rooms. Do feasibility study, there are experts in the industry, and as I'm an expert too, but I have to rely on some data and hire the consultant, because that becomes your bankable document. When I take it to the bank and say, hey, I've done the study with HVS or with JLL, it kind of adds value to it, and you better understand that also. So cost is something, we all have to ensure that it is under control. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ray. Thank you, Michael. Well, it's time up, but we can also take another question. If someone in the audience, sure. Yep. Right in the center.
I'm Siraj from Siraj Indian Architects, Bangalore and Hyderabad. As just, SP was saying, when he opened in his opening statement, that when an architects give a presentation, we just get carried away. We just get carried away. But the point is...
Sorry, we can't hear you. If you
He said we just get carried away when an architects give a presentation. Well, that is the whole idea. We want you to get carried away. But within certain defined parameters, we work within very definite parameters. Now, half the clients that we work for, maybe a little less than half, those who are professional, fine. They don't give you a detailed design brief. The design brief that they give, at times they go back on it. This is not what we meant, this is what he meant. And there, the design brief has to be signed by you. The design brief has to be meticulously followed up. And after the presentation is made, when you get carried away, you have to sit and ask us questions. Okay, now what will be the cost? Define all the parameters of cost and aesthetics, time parameters, everything has to be involved. And then when you go ahead, what is the most important thing, I think, from my little experience? I've done hotels and hospitality almost 4 decades. But what happens is somewhere along the line, there are changes. Now, unless there are a few people responsible for the organization who take the call, they get, after the presentation is made, they get, comments from various sides. Then the whole thing keeps changing. So what happens is,
I think it's about the discipline that you referred to earlier. Shri, if you'd like to kind of give your perspective on what he just said.
And I think that is absolutely right. It's all about discipline. Financial discipline is very much important. Also, when we say carried away, when I meet my owner first and I want to pitch in my service, I always tell him, sir, what do you want to do? You want to make hotel and, just be happy, feel that, I'm going to call my friend and have a sip of coffee at a very luxurious 5-star hotel. Do you want to satisfy your ego? Are you going to be too much emotional about your hotel, or are you looking at this as a pure business for yourself? What Mr. Reddy mentioned, I think you mentioned 60-40. I think it should be 40-60. So 40 should be your debt and 60 should be your equity. I think that's what Mr. Reddy was saying.
I'll come to borrow from you, 20%.
And that's very important, because you look at your debt, 10, 12, 11%, and then you do the math, it will not make sense. Very important for you to do the budgeting. It's very, very important, and then stick to it. Normally what we do, we don't do a budget, we do a ballpark. That's the first mistake we all make. A ballpark. Yeah, so a ballpark is a ballpark, A budget has to be very sensible. So
yeah, because one thing, and the most important thing is architect-client. You see, an architect-client relationship is a collaborative effort. I mean, we love doing business with people like SP and all who know what a hotel is, rather than, of course, they are beginners who we have to, sit with them and explain what is. There are cases when people wanted to build a hotel. We've done a hotel in Jagdalpur, which turned out we finally bought 70 rooms. When he came to me, he said, I want to design this hotel. I want you to do it. I said, how many rooms? He was 30. I said, 30 is not a very good model. But in any case, how much do you want to spend? He said, 7 crores. I said, my dear fellow, how can you do it? I said, the minimum, if you do pull it down, you can do it about 45, 50. That's about 5 years ago. Finally, we made a hotel which cost about 65 lakhs, which he spent, and he's doing very well. It's an 80-room hotel in Jagdalpur. It's back beyond, but it's created a market. And every hotel in a small town creates a market. You open a hotel, another 3 guys come in and make a hotel. Point 1. Point 2 is, again from what SP said, what should be actually done is, the client is very shy to sign off a drawing. You ask him, okay, now sign off. I'm going ahead to the GFCs and Nanditi. He won't sign off. He will never sign. See, any hotel, any project evolves. During the construction period, we all know, as the expert here we have, Wong will say, Michael will agree, that during the process it evolves. So there are some minor changes here and there, but nothing major. Nothing, you can't just go back on thinking that this is not right, what I was thinking. Then you should have been bloody well sure about what you were thinking. in the first place.
See, one thing I can say on behalf of Marriott, since I've worked for Marriott, Marriott has a very nice, very distinct design guide. And then they have a great GRAP team who actually becomes your brand ambassador. They come in, they tell you. There are times when you actually see owner, this is not required, but they say, you know what, I want to add it. So then you need to understand who should be blamed for it. It's a fair field, you don't need a swimming pool. No, you know what, I want a swimming pool. So that's something very emotional. We get carried away and we keep adding. So I think if we stick, I understand the brand that I've signed for, there was a very brief design brief given to me. I need to stick to it. Believe me, if you stick to it, you will add efficiency to the hotel. And not just hotel. When I talk about efficiency, it's not about building the hotel on time. It's about also your people who are working on that project. Even they hate all these changes. They have to work day and night. So I take an omni view for that. Yeah.
So,
I think someone just mentioned time up, get out.
More, I want Marriott and these guys to keep calling me again and again, so I want to say some good things about them, okay? So, yeah, correct. So, as he said, I've been a franchisee of Hilton, I've been a franchisee of Choice Hotels, I've been a franchisee of Hyatt, and I've been now a franchisee of Marriott. My experience since 1992 with hotel chains of all kinds, I think Marriott is the best brand that you can rely on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ranju, are you listening?
Perfect way to end the panel, I suppose. Thank you, Mr. Reddy.
And the other thing, when I moved to India, I was scouting to do Hyatt and Hyatt Regency, and Sri knows it. But I zeroed in on Marriott because it had depth in India. Hilton did not have a full depth, did not have a development team, and then Hyatt moved to Dubai. But these guys invested in its people. No wonder today Marriott has 150, 160 properties combined with Sheraton's acquisition. But they have a best brand, and I think the people in the design team as well as in the development are fantastic guys to work with. And I thank Mandar, I thank Sri, and last minute they called me and asked me to get on a flight and come here. It's worth it. I was going to go to Dharmashala for a match tomorrow, so I'm heading there now. So I thank Sri Vastav for inviting me and putting up this great show. And thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward for some more events like this, okay?
Thank you so much, Mr. Reddy. You're coming to all the events of Marriott International and Hotelier India. Can we have the match tickets, though, for tomorrow?
I have for all the matches.
Thank you. So that we are company, and just to thank all of you all, may I please request Mr. Prateek Narayan, Marketing and Brand Strategy, Clamamaneta, a group company of Mitsubishi Electric, to join us here on stage. May I also welcome Mr. Vibhor Srivastava to be a part of this fantastic picture, and I'd also like to request Mr. Reddy to join us and present a token of our appreciation along with Mr. Michael Wang to our moderator for this session, Mr. Abhishek Sachdev first. Thank you so very much, Abhishek, for moderating and weaving this session so very well. It's not easy to literally have an MOU being signed in the middle of your panel discussion and have our guest stepping out for tea. But only someone like him could have managed that. So thank you for that. Let me also take this opportunity by welcoming and thanking Sri for really adding on so much value to the segment. Thank you. Requesting you all to join us for a group picture, please. Part of this fantastic moment here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, before I tell you more about our next panel, which will our finale panel. So we have a lot to look up to for our next segment and really talk about how the future of hospitality is going to look like. I would really like to take this moment and showcase to you and share with you a little bit more about one of the most awaited awards when it comes to appreciating those who are in the business of creating and beautifying spaces, and that is right here. So may I request all of you to please look towards the screen as we tell you more about the much awaited Ace of Space Design Awards. Through this audio visual.
designers and architects in this room. I think we really work tirelessly to bring together this evening an evening of celebration and design.
This is a great honor because I'm alongside some other architects and interior designers who I admire very much. The people who are working in this group are energized, they are up to the mark, available, and they're absolutely enlightening.
I would like to thank ITP Group for constituting this kind of an award and honoring working professionals. We are really thankful to the entire fraternity for recognizing us and really giving us an opportunity to showcase our work. Thank you ITP for having me here today.
Project is very close to our heart, and we are very grateful that it's been recognized nationally. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy.
Nominations are now open. What are you all waiting for? Aces of Space Design Awards of the year. We're waiting for all of you to be a part of it. So please do make sure you register yourselves, you nominate yourselves, and we are very, very excited that we'll get to host you very, very soon. But let me now extend a very warm welcome to the man, the team that really is behind this and so many other initiatives that have really won the heart of the industry and more. And I'm inviting here on stage, not only to tell us more about this upcoming award ceremony, but also to moderate our next panel discussion, our finale power discussion, where we will be talking about the future of hospitality. So who better than him to wheel it through? Please put your hands together for Mr. Vibhor Srivastava, Managing Director, ITP Media India. And as he steps forward, let me also extend a very warm welcome to all our panelists. A round of applause as I welcome Ms. Ranju Alex, Area Vice President, South Asia, Marriott International. May I request all of you to please welcome Mr. Ronak Desai, Director, Rupa Group. A round of applause for Mr. Michael Wang, Senior Continent Leader, Global Design Asia Pacific, Marriott International. Mr. Rafiq Balwa, Executive Director and Vice President, Balwa Group. And as our panelists step forward and join us on stage, may I now hand over to Mr. Srivastava to tell us more. I'd like to request our panelists to take a seat on stage as per the names up screen. I'm afraid Mr. Bhupesh Arora could not be a part of the panel discussion, but he sends his best wishes to his co-panelists.
Sorry about this at backstage with Michael and some incredible person. We're trying to get him live from Hong Kong. Michael, where's Michael? Can I have Michael with me on the panel? How do you guys want it? Okay, so we'll get the gentleman from Hong Kong. I think it's too much happening at backstage, too much of shuffling, but I guess I'm going to make it very brief and very fast. I think you must be waiting for your lunch, and it's a very interesting topic and a very incredible panel. Two youngsters on the panel and very seasoned professionals, and Ranju, who I admire very closely and seen the growth of Marriott, and I think less is more. Mr. P.R.S. Oberoi once famously said, "Don't cut cost, cut waste." Sustainability was not at the forefront of hotelier at that time, but if you think of it carefully, the statement is so relevant even today, perhaps more relevant today than ever before. You know, I think there are so many questions, and I will go straight to Ranju on future of hospitality. Ranju, there's a big debate. Will technology replace jobs, enhance experience, and enhance profitability margins from high-touch luxury experience to one-touch technology experience? Where do you think Marriott, as an industry leader, will move towards in the next 5 years?
I think a lot has been spoken about technology, and I think apart from talent, technology is the hot topic in every single conversation these days. Hoteliering as an industry, as a space where people go for comfort, security, experiences, will always be human-based. You cannot take that away. Every time I shut my eyes, and no matter who tells me about how manning efficiencies need to be worked upon, and I agree, for profitability, it is a very big thing. No matter how much I close my eyes and I think of a reception unmanned, I can't relate to it. I still can't, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We're not an island in itself. We do need human beings for interactions. That's one part of it. I think, having said that, what we need to, as hotel operators, need to do is to have the right balance. I think technology will definitely replace the labor-intensive jobs that you have in the industry, the back-end work that takes so much of space and man hours. That definitely can be replaced, but a guest interaction, an experience, the look and feel will definitely remain. And I think we should let it be, because there are certain aspects of life that are very human-based, and if we can get efficiencies in with technology, I think that will be the perfect sweet spot for the industry to be in. And actually, it's a paradox, right? We talk of talent shortage being the biggest issue in the industry, and yet we say technology is going to replace all that talent. So I think we just have to have a balance between the two.
So it's not going to be with or without. I think one has to find a great semblance. And people in the room, it's just not that I want to ask question. I would encourage you to make it interactive from there as well. So I'm looking for one question that anybody in the room, Romil, Suren, Puneet, anybody in the back, Prakhar, Paritosh, please, this is your time to ask a question. I have questions with me, But please, by show of hand, anybody in the hall that you want to, just to make sure that we are interacting with the panel. Anybody there? I think Prakhar is, you want to have a question there? Can somebody reach to Prakhar at the back? Prakhar, would you raise your hand? Yeah, just somebody. So the whole objective is that I want this young generation of designers, young owners, consultants, make sure we have an interaction with you. Prakhar, you can stand. You can stand, yeah.
I'm architect Prakhar Jain from Metanoia Designs. We're based out of Delhi. So, future of hospitality. I think more than a question, I feel it's an observation. There has to be a balance between the inclusion of technology in the hotel experience. Because when we talk about hospitality, yesterday also I was having a discussion with my peers about, Oberoi, Taj, Marriott, where do we get the best touch of hospitality? So there has to be an inclusion of, human touch, the effort that they put in on a personal level to ensure that we have the best of experience at the finest of properties. So yes, it has to be, in harmony, the inclusion of human efforts and technology in the hotel experience. But as we move forward, obviously, technology will find its way. There are new ideas coming in every day, and they'll just help us refine the experience, because technology makes it easier for us, and humans will ultimately make that special touch for the good experience. Yeah.
I would just like to add that, as Michael
Can you
said,
just identify yourself?
I'm Shivani. I'm a landscape architect. Landscape is not being extensively discussed here, but I'm equally, an architect and an interior designer. So adding to the discussion, I just want to highlight that, as Michael said in his presentation yesterday, if someone is walking from the door, lobby door, and to the reception desk, if there's a couple holding hands and there's someone who's carrying a suitcase in a corporate attire, so an AI would definitely take a while to identify how to respond to that, whereas a human touch would definitely instantly recognize that difference and address it in a way that the customers would like it.
Thank you.
So I think that's about it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
people in the hall, and if you have questions, we'll come back to you. Let me move to the extreme left of mine, Ronak. Ronak, I have seen his journey closely for almost 7 years, and Ronak has been the proud recipient for one of our very acclaimed awards. It's called Construction Week Awards. He won very recently in September the Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. So give him a hand, and I think what a fine gentleman, and always very progressive in his thoughts and his contribution. And I know the subject which is very close to my heart is to yours as well. Sustainability and ecosystem architecture. How seriously and deeply do you take this subject? Is this subject driven by your operator, your consultants, or your boardroom? Is sustainable and eco-sensitive developments what you want to do or you need to do, put it all to owners?
Thank you for the warm introduction. So, we've been talking a lot about tech and sustainability in the past 2 days, and to give a little bit on the tech, the whole point of hospitality, if you define it, it resonates warmness, it resonates warmth. You need to have that sense of arrival, that sense of welcome. I don't think no robot or no AI will be able to do that, at least in near future, if not long. When we talk about sustainability, see, it's a pretty large debatable thing. We as young, we look at sustainability beyond bottling plants and charging stations. It needs to be looked at a much larger, broader bandwidth. At the largest amount of emissions from the hotel come from your power, which you need, which is there to keep your hotel running, to keep this AC and lights running. Now, how do you offset that power? It's very easy to say just buy renewable energy, but in India, every state has a different policy for renewable energy. They have a different policy for solar energy farms, wind energy farms, right? So I'd like to give a small suggestion here on sustainability. We saw a lot of AV clips from Marriott talking about reducing the carbon footprint. One way of doing it is that, you've got multiple hotels happening in near area, let's say in a state of Maharashtra, where you locate, there is a large solar plant in Nasik, and that solar plant can, you can buy that renewable energy to 5 to 6 properties, collaborate with those owners, negotiate a lower rate with the utility provider. The owners do the licensing for you, and Marriott builds a case for the utility provider. So this way, the largest chunk, the power, which is the most important aspect of greenhouse gases and emissions, has been mitigated. So multiple such ways we can work together, but we as owners, while we are, busy, organizing the money and developing the properties that we signed for, we really request and hope Marriott to take a bit of an initiative, in this subject matter and help us get all owners together.
Yeah, Michael, you wanted to add something on?
Well, on sustainability, it's one step at a time. It takes a long journey, and we just need to get started and go for the low-hanging fruit, things that cost the least with a maximum impact, and just slowly go at it. Because, there's so much we think we know, and there's so much that we don't know. And a lot of it will be trial and error. But the key thing is to have the right attitude, that we all need to save the earth. And having that attitude will carry us a long way.
Thank you, Michael. And I can't see Rafiq. Michael, just... so let's get this young man. Rafiq, we've seen your journey, and he runs many beautiful hotels. A very great name to have with us today. I just wanted to understand, a decade back and now, what is the changes that you see? What are the trends that you see? What are success mantras that you see as a hotel owner? And there are a lot of hotel owners since yesterday, more than 100 in the room, and they can take a leaf of your success story as a group. What are some 3 key things that's going to change the future of hospitality? What are these 3 pillars?
Thank you, Vibhor. I think technology, using technology, right from...
Is he audible, people? Okay.
Yeah. I think using technology right from, when the hotel is being designed at the design stage is, I think, one of the key success mantras which will help us to build a profitable hotel. Also, I think, it was discussed in the panel before that when we are building a hotel, we do get carried away with the architects and interior designs. What we really need to understand is that the kind of revenues which we are going to generate out of the total square feet which you have available. And by implementing technology into and sustainability together, we will build the right product. Now, when we were discussing about technology and AI, correct? How do you, who are these people that we are targeting? I think it's the millennials and Gen Z. I'm a millennial. What do we seek? We seek instant gratification. We want everything at our fingertips. So, when you're checking in, Marriott has this contactless keys which have come in. We are reducing plastic usage when we check into the rooms. We have still not been able to crack the best usage of technology in building hotels. And I think that will only come as time goes by. We keep educating ourselves more. And I think some pilot project which we are trying to implement at the hotel in Mumbai, that still, for example, the in-room service is just a pathetic experience, Even in the room which I was there today, there's a directory which I'm never going to open, which I'm never going to look at. I'm never going to call the in-room service or AYS is at your service and go through the experience. Why cannot we come up with an experience like a Swiggy or Zomato, sitting at our home, like watching Netflix and ordering. It's the same kind of experience using technology. We can bring it into the room service. So we are talking with some partners who've worked on Swiggy and Zomato platform and bringing those kind of initiatives into the hotel. I think small things of such technological improvements will add up to your hotel.
No, thank you. I think technology is obviously going to be at the heart of it in terms of the next leap. Ranju, you have an illustrious career. And I know for one, the world is changing all the time. What is this owner behavior change that you've seen? And people left, you're in the middle of them. There's the owners with a legacy and they had a mindset. Listen, I want to make a hotel for social status. My friend has it, I will make one. Emotional reason. But Ranju, you would have seen and met and are doing so incredible body of work. What has your view, what has been your perception, and how have you seen the owners becoming more evolved, and they become more discerning as well? They become discerning, demanding, and rightfully so. I think me and everybody in the room would like to hear from you. 10 years back, now these youngsters, are they more demanding or the earlier generation?
This is a completely out of syllabus question. I'm flanked by my wonderful owners on either side, and he asked me this question. So thank you, Vibhor, for putting me yet again on the spot. No, but I've been in the industry for 30 years, and for almost first 17 years of my career, the only owner I saw was Mr. Oberoi, because I worked with that company for 17 years. And then my life changed after I came into Marriott, because you have so many owner partners. And despite all the other stuff that keeps changing, and the focus on return on investment remains consistent with all owners, and rightly so, because of all the money and that they have put in. But I was telling Ronak and Rafiq just this morning that it gives me such great pleasure to see the younger generation now step up and take over from the previous generation. And they bring, and this comes straight from the heart, it's not because I'm sitting here, they bring the right amalgamation of focus, return of investment, professionalism, and a respect for talent. And you know, in the earlier generation, people would work with one owner for 20 years. And that was because they were treated like family, and also because they did not have other options. World has changed. Every single person working in a hotel can get a job in the next hotel in the next 2 hours. So the respect for talent has been the biggest cry in the industry. And I see the younger generation of owners who have started taking over the previous generation really do that in earnest. And I love that part of it, because I think in the end, the industry, the professionals who work here are finally getting their due. During the time I passed out of college, if you did not get through medicine, if you did not get through engineering, you joined hotels. It was always a poor second cousin to the main professions in the country. And we needed this respect, and we needed this acknowledgement that yes, we do, you are precious to us. We do acknowledge you. The focus on money remains. I think it just gets into the DNA of our next gen ownership, the focus of making money. I think the third thing that's really come up is the positioning of the company. The parent
Positioning
company.
of?
The parent company,
Okay.
the owners. I think they are very, very focused on how they are perceived. Not just in the society, but their credit ranking with the banks also becomes a very, very important focus. So as operators, we have also attuned ourselves. I was telling some of the owners yesterday in the evening that as operators, Marriott is extremely focused on trying and giving profits as soon as possible after the hotel opens. Those days of, oh, we will ramp up in time, we will take our own time in giving profits is not there anymore. We want to make profits from day one, and that's been the focus. And it's very, very heartening when, as an operator, you see our existing owners signing up with us for more hotels. And especially first-time owners, because then the true testimony of Marriott being a brand partner comes in the fact that the ownership now has the trust, the confidence that their money is with the right hands. And that's very important to us.
Thank you, Ranju. I think please give her a hand. I think that was very, very insightful, very, very engaging. And Ranju, I have known, is fiercely passionate. Taking a leaf, Ronak, you guys are into commercial spaces. I'm not going to bore on any more on technology, please. I'm going to digress. And I want to understand, Ronak, how did you find this, your calling in hospitality? Calling in hospitality. From commercial office segment, you moved into hospitality.
So as you rightly
And what
mentioned-
can we expect from Ronak in next 3 years?
Sure. So
how many more Marriotts?
Absolutely. So, in fact, we were just talking about one more today morning. But as you rightly said before, getting into hospitality industry just 4.5 years ago, we were a full-time commercial real estate developer based out of Navi Mumbai. And we did realize the demand for good business hotels, long-stay hotels in a particular market, which is Navi Mumbai. And that demand, has only surged from there. So that's when the idea of creating a long-stay brand came in Navi Mumbai, and we've managed to pull that off. Going forward, after COVID has hit us, and of course we've been talking about religious destinations being the forefront of future developments. We personally at our group level do believe that resort destinations and leisure destinations, are also going to be of prime impetus. And one thing which I would like Marriott to explore in the Indian market is to have an all-inclusive resort or an all-inclusive kind of a product where I don't have to think or care about anything once I've checked in. Such experiences do matter to families with kids, where you've got activities and everything covered in one single package.
Okay. Don't worry. It's a regular drill.
Yeah.
This is not the sign for us to end.
Yeah. So summing up, our calling was with creating a business hotel, looking at the need of a market. But now that we have understood how this business works, we do believe that the leisure destinations are going to be our prime focus in the coming few years. And of course, we don't see, don't put me on record, but we don't see any other operator than Marriott to work forward with.
So let's ask, I think give him a man, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm. Would you give a time frame?
So
I'm speaking from Ranju's side.
So within the same micro market, which is Navi Mumbai, that's going to happen very, very soon. In fact, we are talking about
Define soon.
Yeah, so very soon is, let's say, Diwali. It's pretty auspicious for us, this Diwali.
Wow.
That's where we come on consensus on the brand, which we, of course, in all fairness, debated out with the operator, because, we duly respect and truly appreciate their opinion as well, in this particular subject matter. On the leisure bit, we've got multiple, yesterday the Marriott development team was very, very precise on giving a gist of leisure destinations that can work. But if we want to create an all-inclusive, the first all-inclusive of, India, then that'll take some time, maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the line, yeah.
Wonderful. I don't want to labor much there. I just want to bring in Michael here. Michael, you've seen a lot of designers in this hall. And somewhere, without taking name, they always say, when do we get a chance to work? Siraj is smiling, lots of guys are smiling in the back. This is the question which has come to me for last 1.5 days. Vipur, when is that I'm going to work on the full scale? How much you like Indian designers?
Well, um, we have to protect our brand. We have to protect our owners, and really we have to protect the process, right? So I know it's a catch-22. A lot of designers say, "How do I get on Marriott list?" Well, you have to design a Marriott hotel first. So how do I? So it never ends, right? But I think the good news is you've seen it. We have now rolled out prototype packages, and that is a very good first step. And among all the other benefit, one of the biggest benefit is for designers who have done not maybe a whole hotel. They've done partial hotel. They've done a great restaurants, right? And now with the prototype package, it gives them that opportunity to do a hotel because the room, it's already figured out for you. And again, I tell you over everybody, designing a hotel room is a real science. There's nothing easy about it, right? It is very difficult because in a very small space, you have to have everything figured out precisely. It needs to be comfortable, ergonomically has to be high. So it's a real science. So now with a prototype, you get your room out of the way, and if you're a good F&B designer, you're a strong designer in other type of building type, it gives you that opportunity now to design a hotel. And then after the first one, you can call yourself a hotel designer and then get on the list and then move on and everybody's happy. So I hope you see that as a great way to get on the list and start on this journey of designing hospitality and hotel, which is my most passionate building type ever. So
Thank you, Michael. I think that's very encouraging for people, the designers sitting. Let me move to Rafiq. Rafiq, I think you've done some extraordinary work when it comes to real estate, every aspect of it. What do you see in terms of hospitality? What's the horizon that you see for your group?
We are in talks with Marriott for putting up 2 more hotels in Mumbai. And I would just like to add what Michael said. I think when we built the Fairfield in Mumbai, we did the prototype. And it did save us a lot of time, a lot of cost. And the public areas were spec'd up because we wanted to give an overall guest experience. But using the prototypes, which has been worked out by Marriott, it was an excellent choice. The room is smartly designed. The even though the room is 20 square meters, the bathroom is 40 square feet, which is what the brand standard is. We have 2 more hotels coming up. One is a 50-room hotel in South Mumbai, located in Heritage Precinct of Fort. We have another hotel of around 250 keys coming up in Goregaon area, which is the business district. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm going to wrap this on very quickly, but not Ronak in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, the message to the industry on future of hospitality.
I think we've pretty much covered it all. So, the future of hospitality lies with partners as, Marriott. And we do look forward in engaging in multiple such prospects.
And one more question. So let me just rephrase. Which is your most favorite hotel in Marriott? And I will ask everybody.
So hands down, it has to be Marriott Executive Apartments. Yeah, so
No, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Which is your most favorite hotel in Marriott, but not yours?
Okay. All right. So that's a
tough one.
It's not tough. Not at all.
I'd go with the the Westin. The Westin works very well. It has a wellness touch to it, and it could be your urban city hotel. It could be your resort. So yeah, that would be my
Westin
favorite. Yeah.
Michael.
Well, my message is this. Just having come back from Europe and enjoyed all these wonderful hotels of ours, Edition and all these other big brands. And you know what? I realized one thing, no matter what, the service level unfortunately, Ranju, it's just not there. I don't get the feeling of real service that I get in India, in other part of Asia, and I think we should capitalize on that, right? So make your hotel that country, that region that really can offer that above and beyond services and get better rate, get your name, and built up a great reputation, because it's all about the soft service, the attention to your detail, attention to your needs, that I think more and more the world is losing it. So capitalize on it and build a name for your country, for your brand, because we're losing that. It's becoming more and more of a dying breed. Great service. That would be my key message.
So that's the message, and if I can just prod you, Michael, from a design perspective, which has been your favorite in your...
My favorite design is honestly the one that has true authenticity, that has a lot of history to it. I'm not into, sad to say, I'm not really into new hotels. I'm really into building that has history, and then how they are able to adapt to today and add layers of detail and complexity and reinvent the hotel to a new product. But so, it has a continuity of a history, transformation, new product, new services. That to me excites me, is to see how somebody can transform something that's old into something that is today and relevant. That's my passion. I don't care for new hotels.
Yeah, so
frankly.
I think it's like architecture after architect. Once architecture after architect, how is that building going to behave and exist? Rafiq, yours favorite?
From owner's perspective, Fairfield, because it makes you a lot of money. In terms of hospitality and service, I think it's the JW brand.
Which one?
I said owner's perspective, making money, Fairfield, but from experience...
Which day JW?
JW, I would say the JW Sahar.
Sahar.
Yeah, JW Sahar.
So Kunal, well done. Because only we are live, so he may hear the compliments. Ranju, it's a question, and you may feel free to take it, because I know you love every baby, everybody. I know, and you really don't want to get in there. But I think, ladies, with your permission, give them a huge round of applause. A very straight conversation at that time. Lots of learning. And I think the future is bright. Future is in safe hands. The baton has been passed on youngsters who are going to change the dimension, the landscape, the Indian hospitality industry we see as it unfolds. And with the operator and a strong lady, Ranju Alex, you are really in safe hands. Thank you very much for such being a wonderful audience.
Thank you so very much. What a perfect way to put this day and our day two into, giving it a lot of shape. And I'd now like to request both Mr. Michael Wang and Mr. Vibhor Srivastava to acknowledge the presence of our panelists and appreciate them with a plaque that we'd like to present them with. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together as we once again take this moment and thank our panelists. I'd like for all of you to please put your hands together for Ms. Ranju Alex as we thank her. We'd like to now acknowledge and thank Mr. Rafiq Balba. Thank you so very much, Mr. Balba, for being here. A big thank you to Mr. Ronak Desai as well. Thank you so very much for joining us for this very interesting panel discussion on the future of hospitality. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure having all of you join us right here. And up next, we have a spectacular session where we're going to use technology a lot. I will be inviting my next guest on virtually, and we'll have Mr. Michael Wang start this conversation right here, talk about a journey through Mid-Journey. And Michael, we have a very, very interesting guest joining us all the way from Hong Kong, thanks to technology. He's being connected our team. Okay, wonderful. We'd like to extend a very warm welcome and present to you Mr. Vincent McDuff, CEO of OLT Design and Construction. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. And let me now hand over to Mr. Michael Wang. Here we go.
Vincent, welcome. Sorry to put you on the spot. You got about 400 people here. And so the show is all yours. As I said in the beginning yesterday, I thought it's really important for us to not just talk about AI and talk about all these different programs that are out there. Vincent and his company has actually been using BIM extensively, and they're using Mid-Journey program and many other ones. And I thought it would just be great fun to actually have him demo what are some of the projects that he's been using Mid-Journey to produce images, real projects that owner can see and comment, but also just for fun, let's have him input some text, because as you know, Mid-Journey, it actually starts from text and then convert to images. And then so let's just have some fun, and we can walk away from this thinking about how Mid-Journey could take us in our business, design business, to next level, and get a taste of what's coming in the future. Don't get scared. It's not going to take anybody's job away yet, but sooner or later it will. So if you don't embrace it, then you may fall behind. But if you take for what it is as a tool that's going to help you speed up your design process, then I think is a great, great tool for all of us. So Vincent, I'll let you take it away. Thank you for coming virtually.
It's not really a tool for to take over from designers, but what it is at the moment is a very useful tool for creating concept designs. And I just wanted to show, over the next 5-10 minutes, very quickly, how easy it actually is. So to get started, this is the Journey program. It's run by another program called Discord. And just to jump in straight away, we're going to produce a design. So from these options, we can replicate one of mine rather than putting together 3D visualization of what things we're looking for. Now, it's very quick and very easy to do this, but often it does make mistakes or get things wrong. So just with that prompt so far, you can see that it's designed 4 options for us. So then from these options, we can replicate one of mine rather than putting an update with what we have done so far. So again, it should take what, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Saying that, it does have restrictions. I know there's lots of designers in the room, so I'm sure they're quite familiar with this so far. But again, it does make big mistakes, and there is certain limitations. For example, if we find so you can see here that it's already, so again, what we've asked it to do was give variation on one that we like, and we can now daytime, so you can see that it's no longer nighttime as well. What's interesting is we can pick and edit certain things, so if there is a design that we don't like to do, for example, we can just work on that aspect as well. So say we like this work on here, we can just make it bigger. And it also is creating, as you can see, photorealistic renders. So we can make this, we can upscale this so that you can use it as a marketing tool or something. But we can also vary it, i.e. we can create variations of it, but we can also do by region. So hopefully this works because this is a relatively new aspect of it. So you just select the area that you don't like. So let's select a tool. And we want it to create variations on our tool. So we just hit, we select it, and we hit go. Variations of it, but we can also do by region. And so hopefully this works because this is a relatively new aspect of it. So we just select the area that you don't like. So let's select a tool. And we want it to create variations on our tool. So we just hit, we select it, and we hit go. Variations of it, but we can also do by region. And so hopefully this works because this is a relatively new aspect of it. So we just select the area that you don't like. So let's select a tool. And we want it to create variations on our tool. So we just hit, we select it, and we hit go. Variations of it, but we can also do by region. Like so before the app patterns, before you have to get started by 3D modeling or drawing plans, you can quickly create a series of renderings with images to see what they're looking for essentially as well. And of course it's taking longer to start than normal, which is so while this is happening in the background, you can still work. And so we can go back to that in a second, but what I'll also just describe as well is that I can work on interiors. So again, this is working on Bali. Bali, let's say we're looking at a hotel. Interior. And then we can enter materials, colors, whatever we like. So let's say white and wood, for example. This is Bali style. And we can say that we want it to be more. This hurts. Okay, so while I was working on the second one, it is now creating a Google variation, which you can see. Again, it does take a little bit longer to do that because it has to think a little bit more. But so you can see it's working now. And when you're doing variations, for example, you can create very specific things. So you can type in, I want the tool that uses dark stone, or I want to go with lights, or I want people, or seats here. So you can get very specific. And about half the time it's correct. So if it's not correct, you go through versions again and again and again until it essentially figures it out for you. And sometimes it takes a while. So while I was working on the hotel room in tandem, we'll look back at this. So you can see the design of the villa hasn't changed whatsoever. It's just now giving us variations around the pool. But we can do that with any aspect it doesn't understand those key touch points, it creates, it's creating a broad picture for us. And then as architects, that's why I'm an architect by trade, I don't really fear this coming because it does need that designer touch as well. It does need to kind of figure out exactly the size, shapes, and how it's going to operate, but it can, what it's very useful for is creating these kind of visual images where you can speak to a client and you can discuss to a client. And of course, as a designer, that saves us quite a lot of money. And by creating these renderings normally, it would take weeks, and then it'd take even more time to do the 3D model, and then even more time to render it as well. So it speeds up what we do quite drastically. And I think as architects, as Michael said, we need to be on the forefront of that, and we need to be using it to our advantage as best we can as well. Lastly, I'll just do another hotel because it's a Marriott example. We can also do in silos. So for example, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but so we can imagine a hotel room and say, we can say it's a hotel interior in the style of W. So it can even create for us, if we like or we have one of those Marriott brands, we can create versions of that and how we think. And we can also create that and we can apply the JW Marriott type to whatever we want. So it can take from existing brands and sort of add to them as well. So it can scour the internet for JW Premium Interiors and then create a version of them that it likes. So it's very useful for that too. But again, it's giving it the best yes. So after that, we have to go in and model it and see how it looks in general. So again, I just wanted to give a very short presentation, not for anyone, but and also to show live, which Michael challenged me, was about how simple it is and it's very, very easy to use. As you can see, it creates something very quickly based on a very limited amount of input. And for us, just because we've been using it the last 6 months, it really helps transfer what the client's saying, because it's that little brief into a visual, which we believe that clients really need nowadays. And it's no longer a case where we can bring a set of plans to a client. We feel that they're very visually now. So this creates a very interesting conversation or a conversation starter for that client. And our experience so far is the client normally sees these 4 options and likes a little bit of everything. So, I like the bed here, and I like the little sofa area in this one. And then from that, we take those items that the client likes, and then we draw that up ourselves and create a bespoke model around that, not using AI essentially. So that's how our workflow is progressing at the moment.
Thank you, Vincent. That's awesome. Any questions from the audience?
Hi, Vincent. That was a lovely demonstration of the use of Midjourney for the initial concepts, renderings, show clients. So I have a couple of observations rather than questions. What I feel is that Midjourney being a public platform, it does help architects, but it's also kind of democratizing the design process where the clients themselves can iterate on that and use keywords and see what they like. So in a way, this technology is kind of changing the design process a bit, because you're not waiting for the architect to bring the plans and then, depending on their visualization or their ideas, it's, from the day one you're discussing the renderings. The second thing is that for architects, it's not taking away our jobs, but it's demanding a different kind of skill set now. I think you have to be more articulate about what you want. You have to, like the variations we were talking about, you have to be very discerning about, this is what I want. And rather than, imagining things from scratch. We have to kind of, you know, look at designs and find out what we like. I think that's really going to change the design process rather than eliminating the argument itself.
Yeah, no, thank you. Vincent, we're short of time, but basically, you know, I think we can probably talk about this for days. The fact is, what Midjourney is able to do compared to 6 months ago versus now, it's already by leaps and bounds. So think about another 6 months, another year. This tool is going to be something that will be very difficult to ignore. So anyway, here it is. Embrace it, hate it, burn it, whatever, but it's here and it's here to stay. Thank you so much, Vincent. Much appreciate your time.
Thank you so very much, Vincent, and thank you so much, Mr. Wang, for being here and taking us through this. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you. And to make sure that we thank all of you with all our heart for being a part of this spectacular, spectacular event, Global Design Conference 2023. Who better than the man who actually curated it and has so much vision for the industry, so many more initiatives that he's going to plan for us. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together as I present to you Mr. Vibhor Srivastava to officially and formally thank all of you all and invite us for a lot more networking over lunch.
It'd be wrong to say I curated. I have incredible team. And can I have Shalu on stage? You know, very powerful ladies. And the Marriott team, Shalaka, Rupa, Jitesh, please join me. And I want my whole ITP team on stage. And Rajneesh, the wonderful general manager of this hotel, who's been a very, very kind host. Can somebody double up and find Rajneesh? Can somebody reach out to Rajneesh as well? And ladies, don't be shy. It is you make us proud. Mandar, I don't know where you are, but it's fine. You are well represented by your team. Double up, ladies. You know, I think no one single person can do a task and a expansive work. Yes, you make it really loud and make them wanted and cared. As how much they love you, how much they like you. Come, come, come. Mike. I'm going to hold you guys for some more time. Please come here, right here. And may I have my lovely ladies, Amrita, Shivali, please. I know there are a bit. Oh, there comes the man. With a sword. Come, walk here. Come. Mandar, come. You know, there are people who are shy, but are very strong. People who speak less, unlike me, do more work. Right. So, Mandar, where's Shivali? I can't see, but Shivali, if you're in the room. There are many people in ITP who've been working. Step forward. Come, let them know who's the team behind. No, I think I enjoyed every moment of it. We do more than 200 events, but this gives us so much of joy to see people coming from all over the globe and being here and giving us, my WhatsApp is flooded with compliments, and I've been saying, thank you from the bottom of our heart. All of you make this 2-day memorable, and we love you for whatever have you shown as a confidence in us. When I say us, meaning all of us, and this hotel, who opened their hearts, the gorgeous property that it is. It is only going to go an extra level with great people, associates of Marriott, men and women, working tirelessly. I could see 6 in the morning, Ranju walking, and I could see the maintenance guy making sure everything shines. And to me, what really adds an extra edge is these fine ladies on my right and this wonderful man on my left. And I will walk to each of them. This is Amrita. She heads our marketing. And I'm getting a lot of compliments saying this event is doing. Reshu, my friend, she says, you guys have been incredibly smashing it on social media. Thank you, Reshu, for being here with us and appreciating our effort. But this lady and her prodigy, Shrivali, deserve. I just want everybody to say one word, 2 words. Don't go away. Go ahead.
We have put in our heart and soul into this, and I'm glad that you all are here and proved that we have achieved what we were aiming at a month ago. Thank you.
Today, actually. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It has been a wonderful event, and all the efforts that were put in, I think they have paid off, and we're so happy that you guys are here and you have enjoyed yourself. Thank you.
Sylvia, amount of Excel sheets in my life I have never seen. One coming morning, another coming in 1 hour. Oh, we missed this one, another coming. And my boy Girish Mishra, who manages all our database, working together with Sylvia. Thank you. Just a few words from you.
It's been a pleasure to see all of you here today. And we've been waiting for this day since a month. And, thanks for all your presence. And it's been great to see all of you here. Thank you so much.
Rupa.
Thank you everyone for coming here, and thanks Vibhor for doing this. Thank you.
And Shalu, the less is more. She not only curates conferences, she creates experiences. Shalu.
Well, I actually want to hear from you if you thought that this conference has been a success. With a clapping of hands, can we please hear? Yeah, for the Marriott team and all of us, we've been working together so hard to create this, and I'm so glad, under the leadership of this man, of course, it has been a great success and wonderful creating it. Mandar.
Wow, what an amazing event this was. And
Closer to you.
Yeah, this is all because of the team efforts here. I mean, we've been to Vibhor's office for 3-4 days.
They hijacked my office.
And we used to conduct our meetings. I mean, we used to call our owners, sorry, our office location has shifted to BKC, to ITP office now. And it was a lot of fun. And what efforts that has been put down for this, by this entire team, because they had to balance their current, projects, emails, and also parallelly work on this. It was just an amazing, amazing experience.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Mandar. In fact, go ahead. Don't be conservative. It just so happened in the progress of work, Mandar had to leave for Maldives. And we started missing them in our office because we got so much used to it, So ladies and gentlemen, I won't hold you any further. I was trying to take time also to bring Rajneesh, the general manager of the hotel. I don't know what he's doing. Is he Rajneesh around? Huh?
The team is here, yeah.
Can I have the whole lovely team of Courtyard? They would have found me a tough guy to deal with, but I have to say that I really wanted to leave no stone unturned. As they walk, give them a hand, and everybody. Everything goes picture perfect. Don't go behind the wall. Come in front. You are the heroes. Make a line here. I am your headmaster. All right. Wow. Wow. Let not the applause go down. And let the music play for them. Suddenly ऐसा लग रहा है कि we are so strong. All these warm bodies coming on stage makes you feel very strong. Very proud of you young boys and girls. Come on, Shrija, Nish, you guys are smashing. Chef, you nailed it. Where's Rajneesh? Where's Rajneesh? May I borrow Mandar from behind to join me here?
Mandar, can I? So such is the power of team, and such is the power of teamwork. Karen, thank you, Karen, this is for you. Thank you from all of us. Michael Wang, thanks a ton for being here and making us feel special. I hope we added value. And I was telling you, Karen, we work from emotions, and we stand by, and we do deliver. Thank you very much. You've been incredible people. We promise to come back to you bigger, better, and more, and the learnings, and enhance, and take it to the next level. Keep believing in us, repose your confidence in us, and love us as much as you can, because we love you so much. Thank you. It's Vibhor and Mandar and all of us signing off for now with a promise to come next year, much bigger, much better, and many more signings.
Thank you once again, Mr. Srivastava, for really putting together this grand show. You know, it's so very often that you will see people at the top notch, the leadership, but you right now have the entire team here, which is brilliant. We have the leadership, we have the people who put in so much energy behind